Good evening. Welcome back. Am I stuck in a loop? Am I saying the same thing every time? I think I am. But anyway, maybe that's why people come back. Welcome back. Welcome back to a very black computer. How's everyone doing tonight? I see we got a few people here, right? Nico, you've been up a long time. You're about pretty late or super early, depending on what perspective you have, I suppose. Evening Revenant as well. Um, Engine 2, why not? Why not? I'm sure Evening Ian, welcome. Sure, many of you had experiences with Pentium 2 machines of some variety. So, oh my, giving up caffeine. For healthier living, I'm sure that will be great to do that. That will be very difficult for me at this point. I'm so ingrained with caffeine between coffee and soda and everything. Mostly coffee now, honestly, but soda and evening. Keep the stream going, of course. Evening Doppler. 1440p activated. Indeed, this machine will not produce 1440p, but the stream will be 1440p for your streaming enjoyment. Welcome, Brett. Good evening. As I'm not sure how many of you actually seen the video, but I'm pretty happy with how that turned out. But that's a machine I've been looking to build for a long time. This Pentium 2 machine that was featured in the video. I can go to the showcase picture here. You kind of see this is what it looks like. Now, of course, right now with the hookup we have, I don't have the action cam set up. It is just the machine itself. Evening, Johnny. Welcome. And I have collected the parts for a long time for this one, so I'm not sure how everyone else's experience was with the P2 era of processors, but I personally had a P2 300. I played a ton of games on that one. Kind of was my primary computer for a long time before I got a Pentium 3. But in later years now, it feels like there's nothing unique out of Pentium 2 per se. You can do everything with a P3, right? You get a P3 or a 1999, 2000 machine or something. There's nothing unique that a P2 brings to the table that would make it better or, special or something like that. So I'd say that in many cases, a P3 is a more flexible machine. So that's what I gravitate towards. But I also realized, like, hey, I don't have a P2. And the case you're seeing or looking at there, the desktop case of the horizontal kind. I know you normally say tower, right, for a desktop tower. However, it's kind of implied now that desktop is just a machine of any kind, and you don't specify tower. So I'm not sure if you call the horizontal cases anything in particular except a desktop. Anyway, when I was younger and we had 486s, they were all the desktop horizontal variety and with a monitor on top, your Packard Bells and all that stuff. And it just made me think back to that when I saw this case new on Newegg. This is actually a newer case from early 2000s, leftover new old stock. And I think a lot of people have this case in beige or black as well. It's a couple of years now, or maybe at least a year ago, they were selling this black case. Yeah, exactly. Towers weren't common back then. Most people probably had the regular desktop case. So, welcome, Bruce. Hello. Hello. So it made me think of like when I saw that for sale, like I had to grab it right away because it was new old stock. But then the gear started turning, and I just picked up at the time this black Dell CRT as well. I'm like, I could build a pretty cool black computer, all black, and that was, I'm not sure how it was in all different regions, but me growing up in Sweden, black computers were not common. It was beige all around, until the iMacs came around and we got all the cool fruity colors. But the standard computer was beige. That was it. And getting a black tower or something was just like, it was unheard of unless you were looking at some exclusive. I know there were some black ones. Didn't Siemens have one, I think? Siemens Nixdorf, maybe? I know, of course, you have the Sharp X68000 and those kind of Japanese computers that were often designed to look more like stereo stack integrated computers. There weren't that many around, so. Välkommen Christian. Nej, här stannar vi på hela natten. Union Mike Boy, welcome. Oh, you got a new name, Bruce Lee. Well, we have celebrities in chat here, so. No, they sold out, I think, of that batch, unfortunately, a while back. And it's been sitting on my shelf for a long time. I mean, I did the unboxing like a year ago in a short, I think. And then I tried to decide what to put in there, and I realized I got a hold on of a slot 1 motherboard, and then realized, like, what a P2 is something I don't have. And that's where pieces started coming together. And over time, I picked up the parts. Like I had a Riva TNT, for example, dirt cheap. Because that's a pretty cheap card. It's not expensive to get a Riva TNT. They're not that desirable because, again, the TNT 2 can do the same thing except better. Any newer card will do it better. So that's the Riva then came together as kind of like the core of that. And I realized that the most expensive or fastest P2, I should say, is the 450. And all that kind of came together to basically make kind of this, what I saw as like, imagine seeing a catalog with unobtainium sort of machine with the top tier specs for 1998. So yeah, we have P2 450, you have an Oriole Vortex 2, a Riva TNT, and, 15 gig, pretty generous size for the time, spinning hard drive. And I had plans to do like a DVD decoder card. That did not work out. I could not get that to work properly. But also, at the end of the P2, software decoding with MPEG was powerful enough. You could do that with Power DVD, for example. You don't need an MPEG decoder card anymore at that point. So I let that go. I spent quite a bit of time trying to make that work, and it just kind of fell apart. So I actually picked up several different decoder cards, pretty cheap to get that to work, but no clue. So, yes, that's right, Christian. There were some BlackNet Vistas, but I think they were pretty later, though, right? Yeah, I see what you did, Bruce. I had to be mindful of making too many just inappropriate jokes, I suppose, with the video, so I restrained myself there. Anyway, some of those jokes would have been probably pretty awful. A little bit, Polly, and welcome. It definitely has that vibe to it, right? Especially this particular shot, which is very ominous. But I think it turned out pretty nice. It is a really cool machine with that kind of, any machine you have that is like a complete package, right? It's really neat. So I think it turned out pretty cool. And it's a nice one to use. Ooh, that's a good idea. Yeah, and that's the thing, Revenant. There's no real reason to do hard decoding with MPEG stuff. Now, what I thought is I have the plans for a DX4100 build at some point, and that would make sense with a DVD decoder or MPEG decoder card, because it does not have enough horsepower to just soft decode it, versus this does. But that's a good point to do some MIDI stuff. Now, this machine is not rigged for DOS really at all. It does have ISO slots, so it could easily do that. But I was thinking in my head as I built it, I wanted something that was more like, high end at the time, and it would have probably not focused on DOS support at that point. And it felt like it. So, but yeah, it's a nice cohesive machine, right? We get the all black stuff, and even has a floppy disk still on a black DVD drive. Some parts are a little newer. I mean, like you mentioned earlier, finding a, Doppler, you're saying about the drives. Most of them are going to be, you know, page from the era, and that was an issue. So the DVD drive, for example, is a little newer. It's kind of 2000 vintage or so. Otherwise, it's a pretty cool machine. And of course, I have a black background, because why not? We'll go over, I mean, we've seen the specs already. So yeah, this would have been then, P2 450. We'll see. I'll roll the specs again here. There they go. They are. So P2 450, 196 megabytes of RAM, Riva TNT, Oriole Vortex 2, DVD drive, Windows 98 SE. Pretty much just like, quote unquote, top of the line for 1998. Evening Johnny Gong, welcome. Yeah, and that's the thing. There were certainly, as you got into the 2000s, that landscape shifted dramatically, and you got a lot more different colored. I mean, we all remember the early 2000s, right? Like with the crazy, tribal patterns and flames and metal cutouts and who knows what we got around that era. So yes, there was definitely a change in the type of cases you got later on. However, in the late 90s, or at least in the mid to late 90s, I mean, everyone had a beige. I mean, at least people that were younger at that era. Yeah, sure, there's a lot of people that built their own machine, but I kind of feel that there was definitely a prevalence of out-of-the-box computers. Your, Packard Bell, your Compaqs, whatever it might be. You bought a box computer, you brought it home, and then you had a computer. That was it, right? So it ends up with a pretty cool machine. And then actually, all the stuff is actually, look, everyone cherish the experience here. There are no warning signs on any of the drivers. Because at the end of the day, this is not a complicated computer when it comes to what it has in it. There's no crazy devices in here or anything. No daughter boards, nothing. I mean, it's pretty straightforward. It has a network card, of course, too. I always have that. Just a standard 3-com card. You have the Oriole Vortex shows up a little differently here, but all this stuff is 100% supported in Windows 98 SE. There's nothing crazy in here. And it's a standard kind of setup. Now, yes, it does have some lots of pro emulations. I think some of the DOS stuff will run inside of Windows, but that does not extend, to my knowledge. I don't think the Oriole Vortex 2 has actual native support inside of DOS. Yeah, this one doesn't have voodoo at all. The intent with this machine was more like, I wanted a kind of like, what would you imagine would be kind of like a, I'm going to buy the top of the line off the shelf machine. Now, SLI, of course, would have been the most desirable one probably at this point even, but I feel that anyone who like, we're going to make like a really slick done machine or whatever, I feel the Reba TNT would probably edge out the SLI setup unless it was an enthusiast build. I'm thinking more like I need an exclusive looking computer that's kind of like a stereo stack integrated thing more than a gamer performance one. So that's why I tried to highlight some more mature games, or at least, you know, FMV games and narrative games more than just pure performance. So, yeah, I'm not going to argue too much with you there, Johnny, but I actually installed the Diamond drivers first, and I had problems with them. The DVD decoding did not work at all in Tex Murphy Overseer, so I had to switch to the reference drivers, which we have installed now. Yeah, actually, I'm not sure if I set the DMA mode. We need to do that. Yeah, let's set DMA and restart. We should be able to do that to get some better performance out of the hard drive, too. Whereas now it's going to crash or something. The video's a little smushed in DOS here, but I didn't mess with it, but you guys can deal with it. You can see it is an actual machine. I'm not faking it. Lovely. I think we're getting a little fall rain here in the Midwest. Nice and chilly here now where we are. Yeah. So I think DMA mode should help a little bit too. That can offload the hard drive and get a little better read and write speeds from the hard drive. So yes, it is not. It's actually off completely in Windows 9X, I think, completely. So, eating Bluebeard, welcome. Oh, nice. And that's the thing. It's just there weren't that many. I'm a little curious. I think I'm gonna mess with it tonight, but it does look like the driver support, or at least it has. It did load. I cranked the audio in here. It just rumbled here in my little beige. I don't have a black surround system hooked up to this one right now, or speaker system, but it kind of rumbled the floor here because the volume was so loud on the subwoofer. I got one of those like Boston Acoustics like 2.1 systems. You know, one of the ones I'm sure got bundled with whoever what that you got around that era. But yeah, DMA should be enabled now, should increase our performance and load times quite a bit. It actually makes a pretty big difference in Windows, but yeah, it is disabled by default. But we can poke around the driver settings a little bit. One interesting thing I found is that for some reason the Aural Vortex sound setting only show up after you open the driver, and you can see that it adds it inside the control panel here. You actually have to do this for it to show up, which seems like a bug to me. I believe this is the last or latest driver available. I could be wrong there. I honestly don't remember, but I think I grabbed this one probably from Phil's website. Phil's Computer Lab is always a great resource, retro drivers. And that's where I grabbed this. And then on the NVIDIA one, I did run originally with the Diamond drivers, the specific drivers, but I had problems with it. Let me know if the rain is getting noisy. I think it should be fine. Rain is hitting my window well cover, and that should make some noise so I can close the window, but it's nice and cool. The Diamond drivers, as I said, gave me some grief, so I used what seemed to be the recommended reference drivers from NVIDIA, which has been working fine so far. And, you know, you get your OpenGL and Direct3D, so... Yeah, that's the thing. I have multiple effects on my microphone. For those not aware, then, or if you're not streaming, I have a noise gate. And noise gate is that it has to have a certain threshold before it records, captures. I have a noise suppression, which reduces the background hum from the computers, which is always present here with the retro computer. And then the soundboard I'm using has a built-in noise compressor, which stops it from clipping or going above. So there's a lot of audio filters in play here that should basically remove that sound. So otherwise, you'd hear a lot of background noise down here. With these retro computers aren't quiet. So for me, it was kind of like a fun little blast from the past to mess around with the NVIDIA settings, which also it means that I must have had a TNT. And I mentioned this before. I can't quite remember if I had a TNT, but I'm fairly certain. And these settings are very familiar to me, so I'm pretty sure I had a Riva TNT at one point or another. I think I went from a Voodoo 1 to the Riva TNT as my next card. I just have so many memories of messing around in here to get the best settings and everything, and recommendations, and using Reba TNT Tuner to mess with stuff. By default, there isn't much you can do in here. We're not going to spend too much time on it. I think it's a fun walk through memory lane. But that's why I feel the P2 and the TNT is kind of like this in-between spot. And I think also that's probably why the TNT cards don't fetch that much of a premium. Because they made them in so many... There were so many varieties and versions of TNT available. And you can find those cards just everywhere now. Because I think a lot of system builders used them. I'm pretty sure Dell used TNT cards on a lot of their machines. It's a great retro card, but it's not exciting. It's pretty boring, but it just kind of works, right? So, but it's not going to win any competitions on performance around this era, especially if you go like just 1 or 2 year newer. You can get something that's way faster, right? A TNT2 is going to be much quicker, or even get something else from like 99 or 2000. It's going to be even quicker. So it is what it is, but I think it's a neat look back at the kind of stuff we had around that time, and that's, I think, it feels to me that's why TNT is often overlooked, and also the P2, because again, there's nothing unique about it. You can run everything that you can do on a P2 on a P3 just fine, and then you have a larger range of games you can play too, because you're not stuck with whatever the TNT can pull. So let's start with some Unreal Tournament just to show how it runs. Oh my, getting a lot of rain now. Probably can't hear it, but if you do hear it, let me know. Nice fall rain. It's cozy here. This is spinning disk, so the loading times are going to be as expected. And also, we got to remember that with the P2, it's funny because you're so used to P3s, and a lot of times you think like, well, this should run better. But the P2, I mean, getting some funky... Yeah, fix the video capture here. It's all wonky.
In 2291, in an attempt to control violence among deep space miners, the new Earth government legalized no-holds-barred fighting. Leandri Mining Corporation, working with the NEG, established a series of leagues and bloody public exhibitions.
There you see my soundboard, turn it down.
The fight's popularity grew with their brutality.
And let's fix that too.
Soon, Leandri discovered that the public matches were their most profitable enterprise. The professional league was formed.
Yeah.
A cabal
I haven't streamed with this machine yet, so there's going to be a little bit of tweaking here and there. But it's a 64x480. I think we're in medium settings, which again, it's just, this game came out a little later. This is 1999, right? So while this machine is more than capable, is definitely not like the prime range. And someone correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure the Direct 3D is the preferred setup for this game. There we go. That's the drawback of messing with analog signals, is that you got to tune them right, and especially with this machine I haven't streamed before. So there we go. Now we're where we need to be. It's just, you got to have some realistic expectations. Like, yes, this is a machine from 1998, but even by 1999 standard, this is kind of like a top-tier game, right? It needs some more horsepower to run well. Yeah, so I was going to say, it's better to use with OpenGL versus Direct 3D, because I think, yeah, that's the thing. There's no real golden one. Glide, of course, is by far the best. However, I seem to recall that even the OpenGL support in the Unreal games is not great. In fact, there's no way great to do that. So, unfortunately, the ground has been pretty dry here. We haven't had much rain. So we shouldn't have any problem with the sump pump running. It's funny because even when we get extreme downpour, the way it works is that there's a window well behind me, and that has like kind of sand and stuff in it. And there's basically a drain that goes under the foundation all the way to the other end of the house. The sump pump's down there, and it never is wet enough to get all the way down there. So I guess they built it right. But if we should switch to OpenGL, let me know. Of course, that's the drawback with the TNT. Of course, we have no glide. So a Voodoo 3 is probably going to be a better choice for this era of gaming. You're going to have probably more compatibility and a better time. But, yeah, exactly. And we can run the benchmark if you guys want. I can't even remember what it is, but it's like Time Demo 1 or whatever. No, that's a different game, but either way, this is the expectation. You're going to be running at 640x480 at medium settings. This is not one we're going to crank the settings, so I'll say good welcome, everyone. It's got a bit of a crowd there tonight. I guess everyone's interested in seeing the black computer. For those joining in late, I did want to show real quick again here with the showcase here. This is the machine we're playing on tonight, which is the one I did a video on here just recently. And it's, again, a P2450 Riva TNT Oral Vortex 2 machine. And, again, it's a great machine for the era. However, the P3 would have outshone this pretty quickly, and any video card that's newer than this would have done a better job, too. But it's still a fun machine. I mean, it's like you don't have to have the best and latest. However, in 1998, this would have been pretty kick-ass, so... We'll see how well I play here now. Spinning disc, so we gotta wait for the loading. Oh, did I set the... I don't have the right settings here, but... Yep, it's a deep... it's a diamond. You're correct, Joseph. Welcome. We're playing with a Riva TNT of the diamond variety. I do not have a mouse wheel. First blood. But it's like, it's still a great game. You don't have... This game is one that, you know, you're not going to worry too much about getting the best... I mean, the best image quality. You're looking more for performance or being able to get, you know... I'm sure the bots are set pretty low. We're not going to play Unreal Tournament that long. However, it feels like a standard showcase title for this era. And this is something that, you know, a lot of people would have probably played Unreal like this. Like a killing spree. Unstoppable. Ultra kill. Welcome, Garth. I don't think I'm going to get to those ultra kill levels here. Oh, who's shooting me? See, when you start getting a lot of stuff on the screen, definitely has some problems. And we're running a pretty... Yeah, everyone else missed the color lighting from this era. Like the exaggerated color lighting. The... Aww. Burn me. There's so many cool, like, and I feel, to me, that screams glide to me, right? Ow. The shield didn't help you there. It screams glide to me because, you know, I think of Forsaken, which we do. I actually have that game ready to go here. Fine. I don't know what I was expecting. There we go. I did right-click. The problem is that I right-clicked myself into the wall with the expected result. This is still... it's almost a guarantee. If you have machines that can handle this game, it's pretty much a mandatory game to play in a LAN party setting. Because it is just such iconic, and I can't think of many other games from 98, 99 for multiplayer like this that are as fun. Especially the assault missions. You know, not saying I'm good at Unreal Tournament, but I can't remember how many we're playing till. I'm not going to play this that long, but I feel like it's a kind of a given to showcase. Also didn't rebind the... I didn't rebind the movement. Yeah, Tribes 2 was fantastic, too. Should we try that again? See if I can not explode into myself. Hello! We're getting some thunder here now, too. A fall thunderstorm. Oh yeah. Mortal damage. Evening Lawnmower Man? Oh yeah, Monster Truck Madness 2 is also super fun. That's the thing. This is, like, you set the expectations accordingly. This is not going to be, like, the best experience playing Unreal Tournament. But it is more than playable. I mean, it's something that you could have had a fun time in a LAN party. No problem. But also shows you that, to me, I'm kind of used to... I'm kind of used to playing Unreal Tournament with stronger machines now. So Unreal Tournament running copy feels almost foreign at this point. Forgot you can do little dash moves. Yeah, it really is. When you right shoot first and then hit the left one. Trying to get into Unreal Tournament now. Rampage. I am not sure what I'm playing to, what I set it off. Of course, it's practice mode right now. I don't think you can ever go wrong with Unreal Tournament. Whoop! Anyway, that's Unreal Tournament. And, you know, if we... I don't think we're going to mess with the settings too much. Because you can crank it higher up, but I think we're going to have a bad time at that point. It's not a game in this particular setting with this machine that is very conducive to what we're trying to do performance-wise. Gonna have a hard time. The music still playing? There we go. It's finally over. I think I had it with 16, so 16-bit color there. Sorry, I was trying to play Unreal Tournament while looking at the chat, which is always difficult. But it's, you know, again, it's an era that might be easily overlooked. And we don't have a ton of games installed right now because we also have a real hard drive in here with only, I think I have Overseer in right now as a drive. Only 7.7 gig free out of our, 15 gig usable under 14. So, and that's a limitation, and that's what we dealt with at the time too. So that's kind of expected. I think I have the. So what I covered in the video is this is Tex Murphy Overseer, which is a FMV adventure game, point-and-click adventure game, and this is exact for that era. It comes on 5 CDs if you use the CD version and 1 DVD. Both of them are in the same box. So that's a nice little touch that you can use either one. And in this case, since we have a DVD, and that's how I built this machine to be like kind of a premium experience, it had a DVD player, right? I mean, even by that point, kind of quote-unquote rare. So, but let's check out Half-Life because that's kind of like the given for this era too. Came out in 1999. And, of course, it's about as iconic as it gets. Looks fine. Yeah, I did that too. That's funny you say that, Johnny, because I had the USB zip drive at the time. And we had the... at my high school, I used to go there to the computer club after school was over, basically. And they would play StarCraft and stuff like that. And what I did instead was I didn't partake because they were just playing at another level. I would just get them smoked. What I did instead, what I did instead was to sit there on a separate computer and just download stuff because they had a T1 at the school. So I would just download stuff and I would borrow a friend's parallel zip drive and download patches, total annihilation units, that kind of stuff. And then I would, sorry, I gotta check something, but and then I would use my USB zip drive, which I think right here. I use the zip drive and transfer stuff like that from their fast internet to my home computer, and I thought that was pretty cool. But I had to do that too, offload stuff on zip drive. So, all right, Garth, I'll take your word for it. So, yep, the parallel port zip drive is actually pretty useful. I have the zip drive. Fortunately, I'm happy to have that the one that's SCSI and parallel, and that's a very useful device to have because it works on numerous computers, right, including Macs, PC, etc. It has support for DOS too. You can use it inside of DOS, and it's a really flexible device thanks to that. So everyone's seen the beginning of Half-Life like 60 times. So when I reload, I actually, for the video, what I did is I found there's actually lots of websites that have all the saves available. Someone played through the game and saved each time. And that can save, some pun intended, a lot of time when you're doing content, because I think everyone's seen the beginning of Half-Life at this point and they're kind of sick of it. So I decided to basically download a whole bunch of saves and start somewhere in the middle. That way I can use that. So use this one. Can't remember if we're going to hear Oral kick in now. We don't have positional audio enabled. I should probably enable that. Let's see. Do audio. Yeah, we have A3D hardware support. It's enabled. So as far as video settings go, we're running at 640x480 in Direct 3D. If people have a different opinion. Now, I guess OpenGL is probably better for Half-Life, right? Since the Quake 2 or Origins is probably better at that one, I'm guessing. So let's try OpenGL 640x480. I guess, again, it's one of those, like, yes, you could run higher as long as you're okay with a little bit of a lower frame rate. Yeah. But it still runs, you know. It runs fine. Again, not the best experience, maybe, but still more than playable, right? I think that anyone that would have played this back in the day at this point, and also, you know, this would have been like a top-tier CPU. I played this on a P2 300, and then I got a P3 500, and eventually played it more there. But most of my time in this game was the 640x40, probably on my Riva TNT, not too far off, with an even slower processor. Bam. Yeah, I was hoping at some point I would like to do a stream where we just do software mode games. And I think it would be fun to explore some of these games here in software mode on a pretty high-powered retro computer, because it's something that's kind of gets overlooked a lot, I think. I see you back there. Oh my. Well, a lot of those processors, all of the K6-2s are overclockable like nothing, right? Oh, where are you, you jerk? You really teleported behind me? Not cool. It certainly is not hitting 60 FPS. I mean, that's not what we're getting here. But it is playable. Of course, it's really chugging as we get down to the nitty-gritty. Oh, I'm gonna die. Neat. I'm definitely gonna die. Sorry, Mr. Freeman. I don't know what difficulty this is, but clearly something. Yeah. A different save here. These are in Spanish, so that's Zen. Surface tension. There we go. We'll do that one. Sneaking? Freeman ain't got time with that. Outdoors. Oh boy. Really struggling. I think maybe we should go into the driver panel. Oh wow. How about sneaking on that one? I think that this difficulty. Oh, hang on. This difficulty, whatever the saves are on, are pretty high here. But I wonder if we should do this. What I'm going to do is go into... That's true, we can try Direct 3D as well. What I was going to go into was the settings and change it to be more, go into the performance version here. Let's do best performance. Ooh, anti-aliasing higher. Let's see. No options in OpenGL, really, besides that. But we can go direct 3D and try that with those same settings. That's the thing, is like back in the day, you had to kind of mess around with it and see which worked best. And some games are, you know, nicer to direct 3D, and some are nicer in OpenGL. So it's funny because I mostly played Half-Life on the easier difficulties where I can just, you know, destroy everything. And here, like, oh, you actually get killed, you know. Mm-hmm. That's right, Garth. I remember that too. It's like, oh, cool. Oh my, they're shooting back. There, here lies Gordon Freeman. One more time. Yeah, I don't have a Riva tuner installed here. I didn't mess with this machine too much. Yeah, there's a lot of options you can mess with that too. We can install that. I do have that on my NAS, so we can mess with that too. Apparently, we're not going to play Half-Life too long because I keep getting killed. Too bad they planted a whole bunch of explosives here. That's too bad for them. That was a bad idea from their part. Anyone left alive? Yeah. There we go. Yeah, and the performance is the, you know, again, it's more than passable. And I bet if you could rewind and go back to that time, I don't think it would run much better. So that's the thing. If anyone else has P2s from this era that are willing to mess with it, go for it and try it and see if it runs better. Because I don't know that it does run any better than this, what we're seeing here. It's just kind of like... I have played most of this game on P3s and stuff. This is direct 3D, and that's right, this is huge. And now we're basically in the worst possible areas for rendering here in this game. I don't think there's anything you can set with 16 or 32, but this is probably only... Yeah. That's the thing, I think it's just, this is what you got. And, like, it may have feel like this should have been running faster, but I honestly think this is kind of the experience you probably had, so... Now, this is a glide-happy game, too, so if you use a Voodoo card, you're probably in a better time than the TNT. The TNT is not, like, you know, the fastest card around. It's not, like, cutting edge. Or it is cutting edge. That stupid helicopter here, right? I'm not sure we're going to play much of Half-Life here. I'm going to just keep being whacked. Wow. Thank you so much, Garth. I really appreciate it. Very generous. Thank you. We'll try this one instead. I don't remember what of the game, but... Silky smooth. This is right when you get dumped here. No firefighting here. Gotta puzzle your way out of here now. Take that. See, you're running it straight down. And that's the thing. I'll be curious. It's like, and it may be, again, not trying to fault anyone's memory, but what I found myself, too, going back to some of these games, like, this should be running better, but then you look back at it, it's like, I'm not sure it did. It's like, a game like this was pretty, you know, quote-unquote cutting edge at the time, so... Ow. Really hurt. I think we're really getting a lot of, like, Orel 3D effect here now. A little dark. The jump between the P2 and P3 is actually somewhat substantial. You might think that the similar megahertz or whatever is pretty equal, but, I mean, the P3 seems to me, in many cases, not all of them, a lot faster. I think we played... We played, was it on the K6-300 with the Voodoo 2, I think we played Opposing Forces. And it also, even on Glide, struggled quite a bit, so... Oh, that's right. I don't have anything to shoot those guys with. Yeah, that's the thing. It's like, you know, performance is about on par, so... Got it. It's dark. Of course, I opted into the puzzle level with the freaking meat grinders here. Neat. Oh, getting some nice movie thunder outside here now, which is a nice little touch. Remember what to do here. Not that. Fine. I don't think we're going to play Half-Life that long. The other games that work better, what we can show, for example... I don't remember this part, and it's locked here. Locked! Oh, it's locked! It's so infrequent, but yeah. I'm not sure I'll be able to capture it in any meaningful way without turning off all my microphone filters, so... and it's, again, I think it's just, it feels like... I just went through here, didn't I? It always feels like, especially for me with nostalgia goggles, like you might have played a game like this, and you weren't cranking it. I do have Jedi Knight here as well, not my original save. Frickin'. But whatever difficulty this save is on, it's pretty substantial. Okay, I'm a little curious. Let's try software mode. I'm a little curious how well it runs. I'm not expecting much, but I'm really curious to see what it does. And software mode is an entirely different beast, but a cool one at that, so... Yeah, look at this. This is 6x480 in software mode. And that is a heavy ask for this computer, but it looks super sweet. Even though it's running at, like, you know... It has a frame rate. Got a really cool look to it, though. Man, we should do this on a P3 or P4 or something and run a whole bunch of software games like this, so... yeah, it's... You know... The K6-2 era and the K6-3 and the Pentium 2 and stuff, it's neat, but I don't feel it's a good choice for, like, getting the best experience out of these period accurate games. Like 9098, 99 and stuff like that. You're going to have a much better time playing that on a P3 or something like that equivalent, or, you know, K7 or whatever. Because it just... At least if you want to experience the best possible way. And especially now when, you know, Half-Life is important to everything. Minus Dreamcast, I guess. You can play it anywhere. There's an easy way to get that in the best possible experience. But yeah, this machine is not necessarily the best way to enjoy it. Although, very period accurate. This would have been the machine you would play it on. So, but we'll call it there. I'm just getting killed over and over. I do want to show... Did I install... Yeah, there was something like that. I can't remember if someone actually finished it, but someone did find it, right? Did they actually put out a version that was playable for the Dreamcast? I know they was planning to be ported, but it wasn't a, you know, an amazing port or anything, so... I think I installed... Yeah, Quake 2 is on here. I'll show you what happens when we play a game that is good performance for this card with OpenGL and everything. The difference you're going to see here now if it starts, I guess. Look how smooth this is. It's the same machine, but we're talking about a 1997 game here now, and you know, id Tech 2, by default, is, you know, very good, so it's like, here it runs great. This is a great way to experience Quake 2. It runs super smooth, so... Exactly. Never doubt the Carmack. I don't have any... Bring outer base area, yeah. And, I mean, oh, it's beginning. Future updated. And I think we're at 640 by 480. Yeah, default OpenGL. Which is fine. I mean, I could run it that way if you're okay with 30 FPS, but to get any remote, like, good frame rate, you're gonna have to run it with this resolution here. And to me, this is like, you know, this is how I remember Quake 2, with this kind of chunky 640 by 480, because I played it on my Voodoo 1, I think, and then eventually my TNT. So this is probably not too far off what I would have played. But Half-Life, of course, being, as I remember right, I mean, correct me, but it's a heavily modified and extended version of the Quake 2 engine, right? But it's, I think I played this on my P2 300, honestly. What I played Quake 2 on. That machine did give me a lot of grief. It had some random weird problem. I think the motherboard was probably bad. But it kept, like, you know, crashing constantly. Ooh. 16. Pretty common for video cards, I guess, for that era, I'm thinking, right? I don't think it's anything super high and not super low, so... No hopping games a lot here now, but I was kind of showing the usual suspect. We have to install Unreal, too. I think that's kind of like a given for 1998, right? Ito. Get him. Hey. I do have the original CD here if I wanted to pop it in to get the audio, but I'm probably going to get copyright listed for that, so... And that's my point I want to make, is that I think when I play games like this, and I feel to myself when I'm testing these machines, like, surely it must run better than this, right? I mean, I play on my K6 400, and with the Voodoo 2, I was playing Quake 2, and it runs great, I mean, within reason. But then, like, it has a lot of places that are slowdowns and stuff like that, and, like, cards from that era were not a guaranteed 60 FPS in 3D rendering. It just wasn't that era yet. Even with low settings and stuff. Many games were good, which is fine, but many games were not, so... Yeah. Windows 98, especially the original version before SE, was not super stable, at least in my experience. I had a lot of problems with that, personally. The particular machine I had at the time, which is, yeah, the P2 300 gave me endless amounts of grief, so... Yeah, that's true. And I think, for me, one of the favorite things to do in that era, in the late 90s, early 2000s, that kind of stuff, was to play the games I did enjoy before. Like, yes, exactly that. I would basically get my newest machine. The first thing I would do is install my old favorites and try them again and see how much better they ran. I mean, I think that was almost guaranteed. It wasn't that I played a newer game I couldn't play before. I always went back to the games I loved that I couldn't run very well before, and then ran them again. And like, oh man, this runs so smooth now, you know. But there's no denying, too, that, you know, Glide was kind of a real winner at this time. The games that were optimized for Glide ran usually really good. Especially by the time you got to the Voodoo 3. I think I mentioned before, the Voodoo 3 is probably one of my favorite video cards. I feel it's a very boring and safe pick because it just kind of works. Like, between Glide, Direct3D, and OpenGL support on that card, it's a card that just generally works. It's supported for almost everything from that era, right? So it makes it a very safe bet. Fortunately, they're very expensive now, but yeah. Yeah, I remember that too, Bruce. You're right. Well, let's maybe we can mess with Riva Tuner as well. You know, I'm not sure. I don't think so, because when I captured this machine before, I don't think there's any setting in here for that. Sync every frame, no. VSync is not configurable in the Riva TNT settings, so we may have to use the Riva TNT tuner, the Riva tuner, to see in that case. I don't think VSync is on. Yeah, there's some considerable tearing going on there, if you can tell. I'm not sure if it's showing up in the capture, but at least from what I see on the flat panel, there's some considerable tearing on. Triple buffer is not on currently, I believe, so triple buffer would only help in VSync, right? I just wouldn't really do anything. You want me to put VSync on? You don't like the tearing? A lot of people get motion sick watching the tearing. I don't think there's an option for that in here, right? Or is that VSync? Oh, that's still tearing. Tear. I don't think there's an option in the drivers for it, right? Maybe there was. I didn't see it, but I'm playing with Fire in Windows 98, going in and alt-tabbing and going into video settings. That feels like a gamble if I ever had one. I don't think there's any settings for it here. Aha. Enable anti-aliasing hardware. Yeah, they don't even give you the option to mess with that here. So we may have to just go ahead and install the TNT tuner. Oh, yeah. See, I did it all the time. I just lived through the pain when I was younger doing that, because yes, it bit me in the butt so many times, all tabbing out of games, but it works pretty well. Windows 98 SE is pretty stable, so but we've seen this. Let's go ahead and get the TNT tuner installed here. I should have it on my NAS here. Pretty sure. The video. The modified drivers. There's Riva TNT old drivers. I could have sworn I had up under software here. Not drivers. No. Under temp on tools, maybe. There's a lot of good stuff in here. CPU Z. Sworn I had Riva. 3D Mark 2000. 3D Mark 99 could run that. I don't think that's going to run very well. We do have Power Strip. So that's probably the best option there. Otherwise, I can get, what is it called? A TNT tuner? Or is it a Riva tuner, right? Get that real quick. Quick here. Let's see. Riva tuner. File. And now we go to tools, and we have Riva tuner. Should be in here. That's where I dropped it. Yep, there we go. So it's pretty nice that having a retro network like this, the way I do it, is that I can just take from my real machine or my modern machine and copy it directly to my retro network this way easily. So, yeah, I sent a check in the mail to them. It should get here anytime soon. Usually like to copy it locally here before I run it. That way, I don't have a problem. So. Riva tuner. Let's break stuff. Yay! Yeah, it's fun you mentioned phantom boxes. I always just like, especially when I'm alt-tabbing and stuff like that. Sure. I don't need to read me. I know what I'm doing. It's funny how much I tweak this stuff and try to get this small amount of performance out of it. See, it looks like the stream quality dropped a little bit. Hopefully it'll back up. I'm buffering. Come on. You can do it. Come back. Come on, internet. I think it's coming back now. There we go. Maybe it's the rain. Who knows? I remember tweaking and messing around in here, having no clue what any of this meant. I think looking up articles on some random websites to try and figure out the best performance, reading through like Tom's Hardware and that kind of stuff back in the day to try and find the best settings you can use to eke some more performance out of your TNT. And there wasn't much you can do. Yeah, it looks like we buffered it a little bit, so. But we'll be back now again. Hopefully. Progress bars. I appreciate it, Lawnmower Man. I really appreciate it. I definitely get more people showing up on the hardware streams, which is fair. The curse from myself is that I do random stuff. I will stream like, Dreamcast games. We did that a while back. But I like to do the tinkering streams as well. And sometimes I'll just feel like playing a game and then just do that. But I definitely notice people definitely show up quicker when we do hardware-focused ones. Which is fair, too. That's a lot of neat stuff you can do with that kind of stuff. And also, fondly or not so fondly remember this stuff. Like we all struggle with this stuff. And say stuff a few more times. But yeah, that's true. I do like the variety, and that's for my own sake too. I know many of you want me to play the same game again, and I will get to that too. I know people want me to finish out, Monkey Island. They want to finish out the Jedi Knight, things like that. And I'll get to that too. But I just like randomly picking one. I'm gonna do that week. I do tend to like to stream with whatever I did a video on. Right, it ties it together and lets people have a chance to show up and like look at the thing that I made a video on. I like that approach too. But oh yeah, the Red Alert, the Command and Conquer and the Red Alert installation stuff, those are fantastic. Probably the best like installation bars ever. So, I plead the fifth, Johnny. I have finished games, but not often. Not often. The amount of games I have finished is not a long list. Not a long list, but there are some games for sure. Evening Banana, welcome. Yeah, the Mac one was really fun. I think mostly because we actually made progress on that. For those that didn't have a chance to see that one, what we did was I had a Power Mac 7100 that we installed Blue SCSI on. We installed Mac OS 7.6, I think. Was it 8.6? I can't remember now. Whatever one. 8.6 maybe. I think that's considered the best one for that era of machine. And then we worked on networking it, and we got it networked to the same network that I have here. We were able to copy files from my NAS. Excuse me. So that was a really fun stream, and a lot of people gave suggestions, and we worked together to get to that point. So those tinkering streams can be really fun if you get there. I'm not sure how interesting it would be if I break everything. So, oh, interesting. That's a good choice. Yeah. Yeah, the Blue SCSI is fantastic. It is really a great solution. Big shout out to the Blue SCSI project team. And it's an open source solution, and you can get it really cheap too. But it's a fantastic hard drive solution for SCSI devices, and above all, Macs. Then, boy, this is building a long time, huh? Not necessarily streaming Rabbit. I'm guessing that what he does is that every time he maybe I'm wrong, but what he does probably then is every time he captures Half-Life, he plays a little more, saves it, and continues that save. So there's some variety. So, oh, I'm gonna see how I feel old. It's always the thing, like, they talk about, like, this is same amount of years since whatever, and you think back to, like, 2000, it was 23 years ago. Well, 23 years back from 2000. Yep, that's pretty old, so. It was a long time ago. Boy, this is taking a long time, yeah. Rain is coming down pretty heavy here now. I don't mind it. Cool down a little bit. Other games that I kind of line up, I did have, yes, Remnant, you were asking earlier, I did get a copy of G-Police. We have Unreal, of course. That's one we got to check out because it is too era appropriate. I have Expendable here. I have Forsaken. I have a few other interesting ones like Take No Prisoners. That's one that I actually played quite a bit around this time period, 997. The top-down action shooter. Got Need for Speed 3. I do have Jedi Knight here as well. It's not installed on there. I do have Quake 2. I got Age of Empires 2. Homeworld. I played Homeworld a lot on that one, so. Boy, let me know if the rain comes through now, because it is pretty loud in the background. If you can't hear it, then the noise canceling must be doing a wonderful job. But it's actually getting loud in here. Let me know if you can hear the rain in the background or if it's annoying. It's starting to get loud for me. Boy, I don't remember this taking this long back in the day. But, again, that's what you had. I seem to remember not only playing games, but just spending so much time messing with my computer, right? Because in that case, there you have to dial up, right? So, when I was at my cousin's place, for example, I'd bring my computer there, we'd play together. He would dial up and would sit there and, like, look through, like, Tom's Hardware articles and, like, how to get better performance. And, like, it was an event to be on the computer. Now you have unlimited information through internet and all that stuff. But back then, it was like, I'm on the computer. I'm doing computer things right now. And often I would just tinker. I would just mess around with the settings to see what they did. I wouldn't play games and just, try different drivers, mess around in settings and Riva Tuner, not having any idea what they did. Yeah, exactly. You wouldn't, and this is what could you do? This was the fastest computer, usually, that you had access to. So it wasn't like you could just alt-tab and do something else. Like, the computer was thinking, so. Yeah, we're getting a lot of rain here now. So what the noise gate does then is that it only activates the microphone when I talk, right? And that's the whole point. So right now I just go, and it goes completely silent. So that helps a lot. Yeah, that's true. Solitaire was a good choice. Yeah. Yep. It's fun. I do enjoy it. Thank you so much, everyone, for hanging out and the very generous donation earlier, Goth, if you're still here. But I don't know. I enjoy this kind of stuff, especially the tinkering ones here. I don't have Delta Force here. Wasn't that a later game? Like, or is that the same era? I didn't play that at all. I know that's pretty popular right now because it's been X number of years. And it's a popular game. I did actually mess with it on Xbox, the original one. It came out on Xbox and PS2. It plays all right for that. Not fast, but it plays all right. Yeah. There was that part. You would read some random website. Someone somewhere said, like, hey, if you do this register setting, you'll get like twice the performance. You did it and just smoked your computer, basically, right? There was so much like random, placebo effects of making registry changes and stuff like that, that we all were just eager to find the next thing. In some cases, they were true. Like, there were some settings you could tweak. I can't remember off the top of my head now, but that would give you true performance difference, right? That real difference. I think we were all hungry for that. But that goes back to this era, too, because, again, in my mind, games ran great. Like, they were smooth, they were fast. But then you play games on the P2 era. Like, not like late DOS on P1, which run great. Not, your Voodoo / whatever games from 98, 99 on a P3, which usually run really good. But then the P2 is an interesting space in between. And it's not as performant as we might remember. And that's what I found too as well. Someone was mentioning on Discord, or maybe someone was commenting on the video. I apologize because I forget who it was. But they were saying they weren't getting, because we did the benchmark on the P3, I think. And they had a P2 with very similar performance. I think we did, I had a P3 450 on the Dell T450, and we benchmarked them. And they got pretty good numbers in 3D Mark 99. And someone else tried to duplicate that on a P2 450, and they said it's way lower. And they tried it on a P3, same CPU, and it was much faster. Well, 3D Mark 99 probably uses some of the instruction sets expected on the P3, and the P2 just can't keep up. So it is a big leap between the P2 and the P3. Ooh, skinned background. Look at this. So many options. I remember messing with this stuff and having no clue what this meant. This page is an advanced registry editor. You will break stuff. I'm a power user. Unclick everything. It's just a registry shortcut setting, right? A VRAM temperature. This is not a good choice here. How much settings there is here. Customize. There we go. We can overclock. AGP2X, that's the max performance we have. We don't want overclocked. Could go higher. Yeah, we're at 100 and 112. More. There's so much crap in here you can mess with that's going to break everything. But you bring up a good point, Revenant, is that in situations like this, especially with the P2, you're going to have a better time with games that are a little older, right? Those are the ones that are going to run really well. The latest and greatest for a P2 is not going to be a great experience in many cases, or, a passable experience, like we saw in Half-Life there. It runs pretty choppy, but I think it's still period accurate, so. Well, the Celeron 300 was ridiculous, right? That's like the most overclockable CPU ever made, or something stupid like that. It goes way higher than what would be expected. Here we have the video settings. Gonna mess with that. But, wow, look at all this information here. But I was hoping, can you set, like I was looking to set the VSync stuff in here, but I don't think we can. Hardware monitoring, look at this. Core clock. But I didn't, is that even in here? You mean Drake, welcome. Fan speed. Can we force VSync here? Like almost to refresh rate fix. Include span mode. Overclocking. Monitoring. Care about monitoring. All monitoring. System. Information. Of course, the registry stuff, but what I was looking for was like, do you even have a control over the VSync settings in here? But I guess we're just messing around now. If anyone knows where to go or change settings, they're welcome to shout out, but I haven't messed with this in a long time. That's what I think what happened was that I just went in there and messed with it, and like, I have no idea what I'm doing. Refresh rate fix. Does not have a fan at all. I believe this is a passively cooled GPU, if I remember right, so that kind of limits our options a little bit too. Overclocking NVIDIA. It gives you very low-level control of stuff here, but also I need to know what this stuff does, or you risk breaking everything, basically. Fresh overrider. But I thought it would have settings in here for forcing VSync or something. But it does not, unless it unlocks more stuff in the driver settings. I doubt it does, but I guess we need, not a Riva tuner, but, my goodness, I'm forgetting words now. We did have it on the NAS as well. Not our choice, where that's where you can share, force it, which would be Power Strip. Yeah, Power Strip is probably the one we're looking for in this case. We'll go to Power Strip instead then. Riva tuner, of course, is very expansive, but there we go. We'll run Power Strip installed from network. I love having the NAS. Being able to just launch stuff like this directly. Fine. Lots of settings. Sure. The thing with this is that it starts overriding some of the refresh rates, and that can get a bit of a problematic sometimes. What we're looking for is these settings here. Power Strip toolbar. Options. I know it's in here somewhere. 3D, that's RGB settings. That's a settings for fresh desktop. Okay, and that kind of mess with our settings here. Go back to, I think that what happens is that sometimes when you're messing with this, Riva or the software here will basically mess with your timing on your monitor. But I know there's a setting in here somewhere to, there we go. Direct X display settings. Maybe. Nothing. Cool. Or maybe I'm missing a setting or something. I was hoping to like force VSync. Now we're going on a huge tangent here to define this thing, but we'll have to abandon here soon if we can't. Performance. There we go. There we can overclock and stuff. Appearance, troubleshooting, enable buffer flipping. I thought there was a way. I thought there was a way inside of Power Strip to force this easily, and I might just be remembering it incorrectly. It's been a while, so it could also be the version I'm using. We have performance. We went in there. Monitor configuration. Yeah, you can set very specific timings, and that can get really wonky. But all right, well, we will leave that for now. But we have options if we want to mess it. But let's see. You want a G-Police. So let's go with that. We're going to install G-Police from... Why not? We don't have that much space here either, so... Ow, now. If you're going to play with a Windows 9 or a retro computer from 1998, you're going to be running Windows 8. It's just kind of a given. All the police. This is a very glide game for me. At least it feels like it, because it uses... Oh, it's very quick. I also have the patch for it, which we're going to get. Yeah, you're not wrong, Bruce. I could have sworn, though, there was a way to force VSync, so... Unzip it. 2 files. Okay, so what are those 2 files? Patch through. There we go. Just need the exe. All right, fair enough. We're going to do this. Find target. We're going to copy that over, and we're on version 3 something. Copy. Yes. I don't know that I've played this very much at all, so... Ooh, direct 3D device, 1 high-res movies. Oh yeah, 16-bit hardware. Max settings. We'll see what resolution it is now. 4x480, kind of expected.
2057. Earth's resources are completely depleted. A race to claim every ore-bearing rock in the solar system begins.
Finds there.
2079. Tension grows as opposing...
See if that's in the game as well. I haven't used any custom drivers here. We're just using the off-the-shelf reference drivers, basically. I did run BIOS for a while there, too. I think on my P2300 as well. And that... I remember installing it. I'm like, I'm done. I'm like, I don't know what to do now. I just messed around with BIOS for a little bit, and then I, you know, went back to Windows. But I did spend the time, because that's when they were giving it out for free. I did spend the time downloading it over modem for a long time. It ran like all night, I think. I asked my parents, can I run my internet all night? And I did that to download it. That was a fun experience, I guess.
The flagship Damocles is the only cruiser.
No, it had so much promise. I remember the big thing was the multimedia, right? It could run so well with like multiple videos playing, and like it was really built from the ground up to be multimedia centric. But there was no support and no, you know, no market push through. So, isn't there a modern version of BIOS now that's kind of I can't remember what it's called, but there's a modern fork of it now that exists, right? That can be run on modern computers, I think. And back to time when this was a treat, just to see this kind of stuff. Volume a little bit.
Earth's coalition government is
Haiku, that's right. I think we mentioned that before, or someone has mentioned it before in chat, but I just remember watching full motion video like this in games, and it was just like such a treat to see this kind of full resolution video going, and like the CGI was pretty good, and this is actually honestly pretty good. 2097, getting closer. Present day. In space. Like the beginning of Mass Effect 2 when Ripper gets exploded. Interesting enough, the jail bars you're seeing on the capture there, that are like striped, whatever, I see them on the CRT as well. So it is not a capture artifact. That is actually how this video is rendered. So, yeah. So that's that. And this is really smooth video too. really well-made video. Impressed. But this is one of the games that, at least to my knowledge, kind of screams Glide and the colored lighting you see everywhere. Kind of like that glorious time in '97, you know, the arcade games, the N64, and then this kind of stuff too. Banding, yes, thank you. The banding you're seeing there, the lines, is present on the CRT for me as well. I don't have the action camera set up right now, but I'm playing on a CRT, for those not aware, capturing it separately, so... yeah. Nice. I didn't get much of that in Sweden. I watched some of the UK shows, a little bit, but it was an exciting time for computing. Like, it was a new frontier and a cool new thing, you know. A little bit of Sulaco there. That's true. Synosis was really fantastic. Very talented studio.
Close air support was introduced in the shape of the AG-60 Havoc.
Wait, was that Clancy Brown? I don't think so, but will sound like it. Have we streamed G-Police before? We have, haven't we? We might have streamed it exactly on the K62 400, actually. Maybe. The Voodoo 2. I don't remember. I'll remember when I get into the game, I guess, so. Yep, true. You know, there was got to be a concession somewhere, right? So. Isn't G-Police the one that had, like, a comic included in the box as well? One of the boxes I'd love to own at some point, but I haven't found it yet, so.
G-Police are all volunteers.
Yeah.
Usually vets with time on their hands.
This is a very long video for basically what's going to be like just fly around and shoot things.
But the majority are just running from
it's still a very impressive video. That's, to me, again, the multimedia generation. Like, yeah, you're kind of past the early FMV games and stuff like that. That was, like, exploding in 94, 95, kind of 96, but, man. It's, you get into this kind of stuff. And you're right, that's kind of where the PC... There was so much cross-platform stuff between N64 and a PlayStation. A lot of the games we played on stream over time have been on consoles as well, of course. But with limitations, obviously. Speaking of consoles, pivot a little bit. The SRG-320 has made the Saturn core from Mr. Public now. So if you have a Mr., go get that. You can play all the Saturn games and all the PlayStation 1 games now, and then the N64 core is looking pretty darn solid, too. I had planned at some point to do a beta stream of the N64 core, because I think we should check that out as well. It's incredible how much progress has been made there. No affiliation. In the pipe, 5x5. Still raining a lot. Time for another Pepsi. Boy, this feels like almost excessive. Like, how much... What's going on here? Very nice.
Welcome to Callisto, Mr. Taylor.
Signos has always been like, wow, that is really quiet.
And I run this operation.
Yeah, I got 2 RAM sticks as well. Saturn really seems to run better on 2 RAM sticks. Or, no. I'm running with 1 because I have the analog hat, so I'm using the 1 memory module version for the Saturn, so probably not gonna happen. The Altair chip on there, the Cyclone, is not large enough or has enough memory to run. Excuse me, to run Voodoo as it is. So now, I'm not saying that Voodoo can't replicate an FPGA, and we'll probably see it in the future at some point. The N64 to work is just near miracle work, and that's Robert again, who did the PlayStation 1 core, which is super solid now. A marvel of a FPGA developer. But that's probably the limit of what we're going to see. I know there's a lot of rumblings of the Mars FPGA right now. I don't know much about it, but supposedly it's a larger device that can handle more. And again, with all this stuff being done in Verilog or hardware layer, you should be able to port almost everything to it. So we may have stronger FPGAs coming along now, giving you more opportunity. Boy, this is really going for a long time. Is there a game in here? Give me all you got. Max power. See if any settings options in here. Sound setup. Any A3D options? 22. All right, that's fine. View sound. Leave it on stereo, I guess. Control setup. What do we got here now? Chord. Okay, neat. And that's always the thing too. So when you have FPG devices like that, they basically always need some sort of ARM processor to handle the overhead and all the extra stuff, right? And there's always discussions about that offloading some to the ARM side, especially on the MiSTer. I'm talking about the Amiga, for example. But it's challenging to do that and difficult, so... I mean, for me, Lawnmower Man, the biggest thing with the Voodoo 1 was just that when it came out, I'm not sure... I mean, I got the Orchid, which I still have in my machine here. When it came out and playing Quake 1 for the first time, that jump there was, like, insane. Now, I never had a Voodoo 2, so I don't have nostalgic feelings for it. I skipped that one, but I had friends who had it, and they loved it, of course. But the jump from, like, software rendering to, you know, texture-filtered, 3D rendered graphics was just, like, oh my goodness, the games that I remember playing was just insane. Oh, we're going to have max setting. Wow. Holy buckets, I don't think that's going to do it. We'll stick with 600 before 480. It feels like that's appropriate for this era. It's nice and chunky graphics. That's right. Yeah. I would love to have a rendition Verite just to mess with, too. It's like, I don't have one in my stable, but I'm only going to get one at the right price.
Listen up.
Well, the audio here is super quiet. I'm hesitant to crank it here now, because then the rest of the game is going to be loud.
We've been hit pretty hard by it.
Alright, enough cutscenes. I want to fly.
One of the major Callisto corporations is suspected of smuggling...
There was something about this era with UIs.
Unfortunately,
I don't think I'm crazy, but like, they spent a lot of time making the UIs look cool. It feels like, hey, we have computers that can do this now, so we need to make them look cool. You know, I think it's Syndicate Wars, now you got all the Command & Conquer games, and it just, things looked cool. The video games felt cool. And maybe we're blasé now, because you can basically do anything you want in 3D, so...
Orders are to scan the incoming transports while attempting to identify the smugglers.
It'll turn up a little bit. It's pretty quiet.
Immediately the convoy leaves the spaceport, you must perform a weapons scan on all containers. If suspicious goods are present, continue to monitor the container until an arrest team arrives.
Sort of flash websites.
In the event of a
Everything
problem,
needs to be slick and cool and over the top, right?
We'll
see now if we get into the game and it's going to be like super loud.
Good luck.
Good evening, Igorek. The specs are right below you here. This is a Pentium 2 450, and then above all, a NVIDIA Riva TNT, 16 megabyte, a diamond variety. So a original TNT card. And that was kind of like a choice when I built it. Not only are the TNT cards pretty affordable, but also they're period accurate, like a 1998 era. Like I mentioned earlier in the stream here, it's like it's pretty easy to get this kind of era and play it on a P3 and a faster video card and have a really good experience. But this is period accurate, and as we saw earlier here, now, a lot of games don't run smooth. Like, you know, Half-Life, it's a bit of a struggle, especially in open areas and stuff like that. And, like, you know, you can only go so far, so... A lot of choices here. Sure. Go fly. Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, you know, if you want a real good experience with this stuff, you can go with a newer card. But this is a 1998 card, a 1998 processor, a 1998 sound card, I think. It's like, it's all, like, kosher on that level. You wouldn't be able to get anything faster at this point, really. Unless you had a SLI Voodoo.
Control to Alpha 1. Cargo
But here you have a game from 1997, then, I think. That runs great, so...
Over. Control to Alpha Wing. Follow the waypoints to the spaceport.
That's gun. Air brake.
Control to Alpha Wing. Fly through the tunnel to the next dome. Over.
Yeah, I just don't know how to go forward. Shift, okay. Nice. That's the thing, too, is like, you know, I like the part of, like, experiencing slowness and stuff like that seems, you know, silly. Whoops.
Control to Alpha Wing. You have one unidentified craft in your vicinity. Over. Destroy that fighter before you proceed.
Bonk. Hey, don't shoot at me. Where's the fighter? Oh, come on. The building is, like, solid here. Cameras. Whoa. Start getting the grips with the control scheme here still.
Good work, Slater.
Clear, yeah, you could say that. If I keep hitting space to shoot, that is not the shoot button. Let's see, what was the... Oh, that's the
Control to
missiles.
Alpha Wing. Go through the tunnel to reach spaceport.
I will reach spaceport. Yes, sir. That building is completely solid. Ow. I'll say it is completely and utterly different. But still, it's a neat game. And was G-Police on... This is on PS1. Was it on N64? Am I remembering that wrong? Must be remembering it wrong. But it has that kind of colored graphics and stuff like that, so... or colored lighting. It's like an era-appropriate game, right? I think so, yeah. Green, hello. Whoops. Ooh, look at the laser colors there. That's not... Okay.
Control to Alpha Wing. Scan the containers for illegal arms.
I know if I was supposed to shoot that guy down, probably. He's red on my radar, so it must be bad. Oh, he flew off. Probably not. I wonder how you scan. Let's find out. But yeah, that's the thing. It's like, yes, it's like, it's easy to crap on certain cards and stuff like that, or certain performance parts that are like, oh, this is just awful, whatever, but it's also part of the experience. Like, the same way an MX card might be overlooked because it's the quote-unquote crappy one, but that might be what you had, like, right? Yeah, it's fun to experience the same stuff with unlimited performance, right? Play it on a newer machine that's way more powerful. I get that. At the same time, I do think it's really fun and enjoyable to, like, you know what? The game ran like crap, but we didn't care. We had fun. It's like, you know, you always lusted after a more powerful performance, but it was fun. So, it's like, yeah, exactly. You got to ride Lawnmower Man. There's just like, that's what you had and that's what you did. You had fun, and it's not like you could, like, I'm going to go buy something better, or in this case here, we're running on basically the best possible, so. We have a lot of options today with Windows 98 that you can run such ridiculously powerful hardware, and you can run these games fully compatible with max settings across the board and have a good time, right? You can do that pretty easily, because, yeah, you grab an MX card or something from early 2000, and we'll run circles around anything from this era. And that's fun, too. But it is something special about just, this is what we had, you know? All right, we have those boxes we need to scan. There they are. I love the interface. It's really fancy. How do I... Oh, there we go.
firearms found. Arrest team on the way.
Sweet.
Ground Team Epsilon reporting. We're on our way. Over.
That's not annoying. Beep, beep, beep. Ah, nice. Police is there. I'm
Ground
gonna turn
Team
it down a little
Epsilon
bit.
reporting. We are in position. Over.
Control to Alpha Wing. There are 4 suspects in Devor Dome. Track them down and scan them.
That's a neat, though, idea. It's, beep, 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 beep. Basically have these hover helicopters, whatever. Track them down. Just about. Why did Nintendo make that choice to have the low heart? I think I would have really enjoyed this. I think I want to try to demo or something when I was
Control
younger.
to Alpha Wing. You have more hostiles incoming. Over.
Oh. Look out below! Good luck, anyone who's gonna land on. Getting the hang of it now, I think. I was just finding them here.
Nice job.
Alright, now we're getting the hang of it. Let's see, red. It's a lot of keyboard stuff to keep traps up, but yeah, that's awesome, Nico. That's kind of the thing I do too. Is just like, you know, I have the overpowered stuff and I have had fun with that, but it's also equally fun to mess with, you know, stuff that's not super powerful. So nice to teleport.
Control to Alpha 1. Vehicles must be scanned and identified before they are lost. Over.
Okay. Scan, identify. Little waypoints and like open world.
Commence scan.
What?
Innocent. Do not destroy.
Doesn't look so innocent to me. Pretty open warfare going on here. Whoops! See, that guy had it coming.
Good work.
He had it coming. He just flew right in front of my missiles. This is a cool game, though. But to me, this just screamed like glide stuff. It sure seems like it. Wasn't... Oh, that was Dynamics, right? Or who was it that made...
Commence scan. Innocent. Do not destroy.
Fine.
2 to go.
Fine, I won't destroy. Where's the other one? Ooh! Little terminal velocity going on, but I like the cityscape here. It's really cool. Alright, the building collision detection is a little ridiculous. Ugh, and motion secure. Nice little grid here that stops the city from being too big. Alive.
Nice job.
Sure. That's difficult. I kind of case by case basis. The ones that do turn gooey, I do honestly try and remove them sometimes. I have like a couple mice, like an MX518 or whatever, that I've enjoyed the mouse for a long time. But it is just like completely gooified, and I don't think there's anything you can do really.
Innocent. Do
You
not
got,
destroy. 3 down, 1 to go. It's gotta be the next one.
I just want to note that those trucks are actually exploding as I'm scanning them, and they say, "Civilian, they're fine, don't touch them." Then they explode. So I don't know what my health is anymore, but here you go. Confusing. Yeah, it's just like, it is uncomfortable because those that have that kind of soft touch plastic or the rubber or whatever, they just disintegrate. I think I need to scan. He's kind of like actively shooting at me.
Good work, Slater.
Slayer? Wow. Yeah, and you know, you get limited on what you can do, especially if it's something integral to the device, like that mouse, or whatever. You pretty much have no choice. I got a really nice wireless mouse. Like with that MX518 mouse, it's so integral to kind of the swoopy line of it. Without that, you're kind of like... It really is difficult to use the mouse, and it's really like sticky all over. And again, I got a pretty nice wireless mouse from someone a while back, a long time ago now. Like a docking station and everything. It was a pretty old mouse, but then just the rubber, the soft touch, had just turned into basically sticky goo. And that makes it, you know, near unusable. And, you know, there's not much to do, so... Hey, the contractors in the city, they know how to build a light post, alright? They know how to do it, so... Civilian kills too. That was like... someone else's fault. And to be fair, on that one time, that flew right in front of me, right, as I shot at a... Protect Ground Team Epsilon. Well, they kind of exploded from that truck, so... It wasn't really my fault.
It is confirmed that the container was carrying sufficient illegal arms to supply a small army. Krakow Corporation denies involvement.
And the Blue Harvest, the Family Guy one, they're like, yeah, we can patch it up now if money's no object. Let's get some coast, yeah. Now, the question on a game like this, that's really slick and cool, is it going to be repetitive because you're basically doing the same thing over and over? Wow, it's even like memory blocks here. Very slick interface. Oh, well, that's G-Police. We're going to play too long, but it's a cool game. It's unreadable, but it looks cool. I feel like I really, really need to try Unreal because it's just, I don't know, it's the era, and we tried the other stuff, so we got to try Unreal as well. I actually have the actual, I do not have the actual installed disk. Who knows where that is? I have it on my NAS. Probably just have the game straight up here. Yes. Real gold. Oh, CD. All right, I'll have to burn that real quick. Stay by. The nice part about doing this, I can just kind of burn a new one. Because apparently, wherever that is the actual, my real disc, but then I have no idea where the actual disc is. It's probably loose somewhere. Burning now. All right. Let's see. Let's try something else here. We do have Expendable is a really good, cool title. I wonder if I have that on here too. I probably do. A Millennium Soldier in here. Might have saved on Expendable. Just the ISO. Alright, well I do have it burned here, so I think Expendable is another like cool, also a very common game for showcasing direct 3D. I don't know, it's fun to explore and mess with this kind of system where it may not be what you normally do. It's something a little different, right? Because I hang out in the P3 era a lot, I think. But I have a lot of fond memories from this particular time period too, because I mean I played a whole bunch of games during that time frame. Okay, here's my original copy of Homeworld, which I did play on, you know, Windows 98, and used first on my P2 300 and then on my P3 500. The briefcase is a synchronization folder if you have a laptop. The idea being is you can drag files between there, so then you can copy them back and forth, or basically offline synchronize them from a network and stuff. So you can use the briefcase as kind of like a cache for a laptop is the idea, and that's the briefcase. If I remember right, I wasn't in the field or IT field during that era, but if I remember right, it is a offline cache synchronization folder. You basically have it synchronized between your laptop being on network and off, so that way you can keep it up. So at least in a hobby sense, you would never have used it. It's much more a business thing. So, oh, nice, yeah. Yeah, the Banshee is a really good one for P2. So. Yeah, it's just a way to keep like files synchronized between two sources, I think. And then the most case or scenario you might have it is, again, you have a laptop and you are copying files to it, and then they're basically available for you. Now, basically, the original OneDrive. Just a way to get to your files and then keep synchronized when you plug in again to network, if it makes sense. So definitely more a business way. And also remember that, like, when you had a computer back then or a laptop, odds were you're not going to have any kind of online connection or anything, and you traveled maybe. So it was a way to guarantee that then when you connected it back to a network or something, then the briefcase would synchronize the files back on the network. So, yeah, there's that part. What I'm finding now, and I work in the field, is that Microsoft just keeps enabling features whether you like them or not. Like, hey, of course you want this AI thing. We're going to enable it by default. It's like, well, no, hey, we actually don't want that. So, a little tricky. Expendable is a great game for testing and benchmarking Direct 3D. It is a Direct 3D heavy title, and it's kind of what it uses. I don't think it even has OpenGL. But it is a great one to test Direct 3D with it because it's got benchmark built in. And we haven't done benchmarking tonight. And I feel it kind of misses the point a little bit for this one, so... yes, you're correct, Nico. I do, and that machine is unfortunately kind of in parts now. So that one actually had a Radeon 9800 Pro in it. So it didn't use PCI Express in that one particular. Well, Windows XP, hang on. So I don't have a machine of that caliber for Windows 98. I do definitely have PCI Express XP machines, pretty sure. I think a Core 2 Duo with a PCI Express card in it can be an extremely powerful Windows XP retro machine. So, but I don't think I have anything that's like Windows 98 overkill like that. Because the fastest overkill 98 I've done, goodness, that video is old now, is that Athlon 64... remember now. I also don't remember. It's newer than that. But I was able to just shoehorn Windows 98 on it. And it ran so fast, it almost was unusable in some cases. Where it was really powerful was to run like DG Voodoo, a glide wrapper. And you could basically use... Unreal is done. I do own the game, but in this case here, we're just gonna write on disk here. There we go. It's something very cathartic with burning CDs and writing on a Sharpie on them. While I enjoy the network aspect, and I drop ISOs often on these machines, especially on these that have very small hard drives, it's a pretty fun way to do it. So we'll run 640 by 40. I'm going to use roll solution. Oh, there we go. Vertical sync, triple buffering, hardware anti-aliasing, Doom text or hardware testing compression. 30 next year. Oh my goodness. Yeah. And that's the thing. It's like, yeah, we're all old, right? You definitely feel old when you stand up anymore. But do we have Oriole 3D here? Yeah, I could look at that. Oriole A3D Interactive. We do have 32-bit color. Let's try it. Let's go for power. This is a 32-bit capable card, and that was a big... it's going to be one of those. Do I have the no CD fix for this one? I do have the CD in there, so... solder... There we go. There it is. There was more settings. Did this install something here? I do have Unreal here. I guess I already have it installed. We burn it for nothing. Good times. It required DLL Smack 32. I don't know what that does. Not gonna help if it doesn't play. CD is in. Jerk. I know I played this before too. Thought on this machine, but I guess not. But that was anticlimactic. The ISO that I have burned here too. Oh, I need to, let's see, here. I think very clear here now. Target. Program files. I need to, of course, copy. Whoops. Having a hard time here. I need to copy that file or back to where the directory is, which is what I did not. I just dropped it there. So let's see, program files. Yeah. Rage. Expendable. There we go. First try. Okay. Got it. This is a game that's on Dreamcast too, I think, right? An interesting game or like a... yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, the Apple II had a really long lifespan, right? It was around for quite a while. Got a little fun with this one here. We're in 1999 now, I think, so... Yeah, they certainly had fun with this one. The whole thing is, you know, expendable, right? So... Millennium Soldier. Oh, now not the Quake 4. This... Union Boka, welcome. That's one... Yeah, streaming Quake 4 has been a thing that I've thought about, too, in the past. But, boy, that scene is something else. It's edgy for the sake of being edgy, so... But, I mean, the Apple II was around for a long time. Same one? Yeah. There we go. Roll. This is also a game that has a really cool, like, setup here. Bump mapping off, on. Detail level high. Not sure we're gonna be able to do this. If this machine or this video card is gonna be able to handle this. We have 32-bit colored max settings on everything. 640 by 480. Yeah, I'm not sure if it did 2-player. Can you Stewart? Arrow keys here, yeah. Runs fine. Those settings are just terrible. Can I change the roll here? There we go. Can I do mouse for that? Yeah, and there we go. Brave. Yep. Oh, there we go. Sidestep left, sidestep. There we go. I don't need to turn. I'll do that with the mouse. Alright, there we go. Very slick interface, but it's very much like a console. It feels very polished, right? So. There we go. That was running great. That's chonky pixels. Sorry for the flashing lights a lot here. If you have sensitivity for that, probably want to look away a little bit. It's a lot of flashing lights. Yeah, this would have been a, you know... These are exploding a lot. A cool showcase here for like all these cover graphics and Union G Maverick. Welcome. Yeah, probably. I realized it was going to be this bad, but before they really figured that was probably not a good idea, so AMD? Where did I put AMD on? But yeah, the it's something special about this area, right? Because you have this, like, you know, just color lighting everywhere, and it's like, it looks so, like, slick, and it reminds you of arcade games, right? So, at least that's to me. It feels like that on a lot of these games. That's why I almost prefer this, like, 640 by 480 chunkiness, and again, that's what consoles running, right? But this is definitely ported to Dreamcast, so... Oh, gotcha. Wreck this? I really want to wreck this thing. Did nothing, but I want to wreck it. I feel better now. Great. Yeah, I think I've used it too a lot, because Direct 3D benchmarking, this game is very solid for that. It has a built-in time demo and everything, so it's a great one to use for benchmarking. This would have been a great experience. Now, you could play this on high resolution as well, but it feels just right with this kind of chonky look to it. Here, this car just having no problem, so... Yeah, it was fun when you ran into, like, certain stores that had, like, you know, leftover stock of big box games or something, and it sold them for pittance. There was a local radio, kind of like almost like a Radio Shack thing in Sweden, that I was in high school, and I went in there one time, and just, they had just, like, Privateer 2 Darkening, Lands of Lore, and like a few other ones, and they were selling them for like, you know, the equivalent of like $5 to $10 each. Another place I went to had like Battle Isle, I think Dark Messiah, or Crusader of Might and Magic and stuff like that for, again, like, you know, $5 to $10. Just, yeah. You don't miss those days. Yeah, this run's great. It looks really good on the CRT. I know it's a certain thing to capture or whatever, but it looks really, really good on the CRT. I mean, any game, I think, 64x480 displays very well on the CRT. And we could probably go to 800x600 too. But I might start struggling at that point too. Yeah. I do have all of those right here. Well, Empire Earth, I actually bought that originally, but I have lost that box since, or it got lost in a move or something. Yeah, this is a great game, Paul, if you haven't played it, and it's really fun. It's just, you know, silly arcade shooter, but it plays really well. Again, it's on Dreamcast too, so I'm not sure if this has been re-released, but if it's on GOG for that little. That's probably where I need to go. Check out the other areas here. There might be secrets. Oh yeah. This place is great, yeah. I would have easily had a good time with this, and I'm having a good time now, but... It definitely has a console vibe to it, right? But again, this kind of chonky graphics, color lighting everywhere, I don't know. There's something magical about that particular era. Maybe I'm just nostalgic for it specifically, but... It was such a cool... There we go, nice slowdown there. Such a cool time period when things were moving really fast, and we were seeing new stuff all the time. You know, getting the latest video game was a really cool thing, especially as the video cards were, you know, expanding or getting faster and faster and faster. More boss. Pick up a key card. Points, alright. Don't laser me, bro. Okay. That is true, it could use a little more explosion. Credits and everything. Yeah, this is very much an arcade-style game. The entire trilogy? Wow. That's one that we should stream at some point, too. You know, I've never really played the Prince of Persia: Sands of Time game on any platform, and that's probably one we should stream at some point, maybe original Xbox or PS2 or something, just for the sake of it. Because, yeah, I know that it's a really good game, and I was on my watch list forever to buy it for GameCube when I had the GameCube originally new. And again, this is 32-bit colors. This would have been the most colorful way you could have played this game back then. It looks really neat. It reminds a little bit of another game, Dark Reign 2. It's a RTS, but it's got some kind of like this thing going on too visually. Nice difference in... This is awesome. Flamethrower. 10 out of 10. I like the camera moving. Oh, yeah. I said I haven't really played any of them. Some of these guns are better than others, but at least there's a lot of variety. Boom, 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 boom. Yeah, we should probably switch games or soon, but I'm just getting stuck into this now because it's enjoyable. Did they really need the yellow pass and it was right there? Hostage recruited. Wait, go up here? Can I go here now? Spread gun is superior, as usual. I don't know why. I think for me it was just like I had the GameCube at the time. That was my console, and I really wanted to buy it for GameCube, but the game price for that one never really went on sale for a way that was digestible for me, I suppose. I never ended up getting it, even though I got a PS2 later and eventually an Xbox. But then it was just kind of like it was always on my watch list. Of course, that's not really a problem anymore. I have basically all those on the Xbox with the hard drive, but I haven't played it yet, so we probably should. That's like a good kind of game. Let's try and reel here. I'm just going to keep playing the freaking... Spawning. Gun here. There we go. Satisfying gun here, or satisfying like shooting mechanics. So, yeah, it's true. Whoops. For me, I think I mentioned it before too, but when they were fire selling out the GameCubes for like nothing, I think I bought mine in Sweden for like 1,000 kronor or so. You know, $100. And picked up a few games and had a blast with it. So I was into PC at the time 100%. So, oh, my health is pretty low here. I think my portrait is like dead up there. Probably fine. Never played that either. Can you play that offline or? Health, thank you. And I was playing this game here, so we'll switch to Unreal here in a second, but this is a good game and a good experience, but I don't think it takes, like, any machine from this era can play this game in a good way. Like, they clearly prioritize, like, smoothness and performance, but again, it was also on Dreamcast, so we'd work you well into that, I guess. Lasers, firing them. Okay. All the stuff about Sony. Every time there's a new console coming out, it's like, it's the fastest thing ever, and it's going to be so fast, blah, blah, blah. That's true. There are ways to play that online now, but there's been a real resurgence in that stuff. I know on the Xbox, above all, you can play those online games again now. Which is awesome. My first PC game, Evening Sukra, welcome. These two right here. I'll say, Sukra as a content creator, you've seen this game 100 million times streaming it. So these two were my first Evening Johnny Johnson, in case I missed it earlier. These were my two first games. I got these for Christmas of 1994. My brother insisted to buy me Doom 2, and I got this from my parents. So these were my two first PC games, and that was before I had a computer. Still have them, so. And yeah, it's, you know, that set me on the route of PC gaming and everything. Of course, Doom 2 was fantastic, but I played so many hours of Transport Tycoon, it's ridiculous. Yeah, this plays really well. Now, I will say I had played other games. That was my first, like, retail games. I had played other games on a hand-me-down, or, you know, I'm trying to think now. No, this would have been my first games, really. I didn't really have a computer before that. I had a hand-me-down, I think, XT clone or, like, 286 clone or something. Generic thing that my dad used for his business that he didn't need anymore. But I didn't get any games on it. Teaser. Alright, anyway. Ow. Yeah, GOG has a lot of cool stuff, and one thing I was going to play, I haven't played the 2013 Tomb Raider at all, and I've heard it is really good on the Steam Deck, so I'd like to do that. Plays really well. I think I have it on Steam already, so... but yeah, I had lots of computer experience before that. My neighbor had an Amiga 500, but that was on, for at least for PC, that was my first, like, owned games. Yep, very. We saw it earlier. But like many of us that do content creation, we capture this game a lot. It's a good benchmarking title, so... I love the interface, too. It's very slick. It's very console-like, but this is a great thing to play on PC here. Good evening, welcome. Yeah, cool game. Awesome game, really. I recommend it. But we were going to test Unreal, and we have that installed already. So I'm going to start the Unreal loop. Restroom quick. So, which apparently I forgot that Unreal was actually already installed, because I think I tested it for here. But this is not running, you know, super smooth on here. We'll mess with the settings and we can check it once the loop is running here. But of course we have to have the intro loop for Unreal running. There you go. I'll be right back. Yeah, okay, we're gonna have this demo running here, so we'll go into the settings here. For those that are joining later or didn't see it earlier, the machine we're playing on is this P2450 here. They read about TNT in it. So this runs fine, and the thing to me as well, I mean, it doesn't run great, but it does run, is that even on the Voodoo 2, which was kind of the showpiece, like, hardware for me, at least for this game, it doesn't run it, like, flawless. And I think that's the thing that, at least in my memory, I think that all the games from this era ran, like, 60 FPS all the time. I was like, this was not... PC was not in the 60 FPS space yet, at this point, it feels like. A lot of games now, plenty of ones that do that. But all these, like, AAA games equivalent from this era, or the top ones, if you will, they didn't, so... So we can check the settings. We are running, let's see, I think we're in direct 3D mode probably. Let's see, drivers. OpenGL. So the question is here then, what's better here? Do we think an OpenGL or Direct 3D? Yeah, this intro is like so iconic to me as far as looking at them. I mean, Unreal itself is just, the engine is really, really cool. It's really sad to me that Epic basically wants nothing to do with this anymore. Tim Sweeney has basically like said he doesn't really, you know, care about this. Because if if there was goodness in the world, Night Dive Studios would get a hold of this and remaster it. There will be no metal tonight. No, no. But yes, I did do that when I did the S4 Savage, or S3 Savage 4 video. Then I did this with S3 metal. Of course, while it is an option here, you cannot use it. But to my knowledge, Direct 3D runs better than OpenGL, at least here. But it's kind of like both OpenGL and Direct 3D, I think, are not fantastic in here. But super textures, I know that is. Game settings, a lot of options here. Texture detail. We have it in medium right now, so in general we're set at kind of medium, and that's more than enough playable for this game, of course. Yeah, 640x40 and low, so you know we're kind of in that era again where glide would be really helpful. Oh, this is Nelly. Guess we're into a new game. Let's see the beginning. Don't have time for fast ones. I'm not sure. But dang it, I don't have the key bindings set. Move forward. There we go.
Prisoner 8,
and you know it there's a difference here, Revenant, because where I grew up you couldn't drive until you were 18, and I lived out in the country, so everything was super far away. So there was no laser tag or option or jumping in the car, so
escaping. Prisoner 3, 2,
game is really dark, isn't it? Especially in the beginning here. But it's so dark I can't even see. We're gonna increase the brightness here. This is ridiculous. There it is. But you got the full colored lighting and everything, so again, that's you know, a Voodoo 2 was probably the premier way to play Unreal, at least at the time. Yeah, it's funny because as much as I played Unreal, I'm sure I missed a lot of stuff too, but I didn't discover the armor room in the beginning here until like pretty recently. Like under here. I didn't find this until quite recently. Oh. Woo, come on. Look at the reflection here. This is a more than cool way to play Unreal. Yeah, I didn't find this room until like maybe a couple of years ago. Sliding. Whee! But I mean, I think this is more than a passable way, but also the Pentium 2 450 at this point is pretty strong for this game. And I think this would have been a perfectly acceptable way to play this game, even at this low texture setting. Because I have a feeling, short of like a Voodoo 2 SLI setup, is probably not something you would have gotten a max performance out of in 1998. On any cards that were out on the market, so... Maybe I'm wrong, but... It's so flippin' dark. This is fine. With a Scarge. Yep, come on. Oh no, I see him running. Come back. Aww. It is pretty epic. No pun intended, I suppose. Fine, just walk it off, champ. When you see the Scarred the first time, the Scarred Warrior, for real, when you run into that dark hallway with the color lighting and everything, it was pretty fantastic. Nice flickering. But it was, I remember just, you know, being so used to like the id Tech sort of engines and then going into this here felt like so like different, the Unreal Engine. Whoa. We're just trying to get to that one spot. Everyone wants to see that. Aren't gonna play Unreal too long either, but it's like you gotta see the opening here of the open area. It's kind of like a given for Unreal. Flare. 640 by 480 is really nice and chunky. Oh, look at that. That's a sky. That is a skybox. Neat. Let's try OpenGL and see if that works better here. Let's just switch on the case here. Oh, sorry, we're on OpenGL right now, so let's go to Direct 3D, I guess. Let's see. Oh, so many. Oh, look at. Oh my goodness. Oh, the Direct 3D is a little too bright. Oh my goodness, you lost like all like feel. Hey, Mike. All right, thanks for stopping by, Mike. We'll see you next time. Yeah, I think OpenGL is probably a better choice than this one. And that's, I think, with Direct 3D, it's just, to me, it ends up being washed out a lot of the time. But yeah, probably gonna go back to OpenGL. That was not a good experience. That's fine, we can try software. Look at all the feels you get. But I think that if we do a live stream sometime and I get like probably on the P 3 1 gigahertz or something and run software mode on some of these, I think we're gonna have a good time. It might be very cool to see that. Look at the weird like filtering going on, I guess. The textures. That's bizarre. Doesn't look very chunky. Yeah, I mean, it's more than enough passable. Not fast, but... ooh, look at the dithering going on here on the water. That is some serious... Ooh, there we go. Oh, there's just chunky pixels. Catch yourself on those pixels. Or not pixels, but... It's a certain charm to it. But it feels like playing... Outcast with its voxel-based engine, which is also very cool. Everything's super dithered, yeah. Oh, look at the chonky mountains up there. They're like just zigzag straight. But yeah, let's go back to Direct 3D, or to OpenGL. That's probably our best option in this case, which then the thing is that looking back at it, right, you had software rendering, and if you had just experiencing 3D rendering for the first time with some of these games, I mean, it looks and runs so much better. Yes, Sin is on here, and we should play that too, because I actually listed that as a game for the stream tonight, so we probably should play that. Otherwise, I'm falsely advertising it. Yeah, it was just... Seeing this open area here was amazing, and my friend in high school, who lived pretty close by where I had my apartment, and I think we should probably stream Kingpin by itself some night. But seeing this area on his Voodoo 2 the first time was just like, wow, to me. Because I had only played it on Voodoo 1 at the time. Maybe I had it on TNT, I don't remember. But the Voodoo 2 with the glide just looked really nice. Look at the lighting effects. And yeah, this is a more than passable way to play this game, although it's a little less dark, I guess. But oh my god. Yeah, this game is like doesn't hold any punches. Like, you know what? Get the rocket guy from right away. Oh, yeah. Whoops. Trying to reload, but there's no reload in this game. You just shoot until you're out, so... Can you imagine if we had a Night Dive remaster of this game? They've talked about it, but unfortunately, Epic/Tim Sweeney has no interest in revisiting. I mean, heck, they're shutting down some of the old Unreal games right from online marketplaces and stuff like that, so they just have no real interest in their back catalog, which is a shame. Just a fully remastered Unreal 1 would be fantastic. Yeah, exactly. I'm sure there's fan projects around that too, but just an official remaster, yeah, even with RT lighting, would just be... I mean, every remaster that Night Dive has done has been just fantastic. Like, retaining the original, but enhancing and adding, so... very nice. Because I don't think that they officially got permission, right? From... I'm gonna break her stuff. Yeah, I guess we got to the beginning here of Unreal. I just want to see how it ran, but OpenGL, of course, is our choice there. But let's switch to Sin, because that one is really, really fun. You know, same thing for me. I beat Unreal 2 for some godforsaken reason. I never got to the end of 1. I got really close. I think I just ran out of energy towards the end there, so... to kind of finish it, but yeah. This is the part everyone sees of Unreal, so... But yes, let's play Sin, because that is one I actually listed as part of the games tonight. And Sin, interesting game as well. Also a Quake 2 enhanced version, like Half-Life. Capture's correct, yep. Whoa! Loud! We go to the settings already. Default OpenGL 640x480. Texture mode auto. Full screen, yes. Leave that as it is. That plays pretty good this way, so... See, do we have... Max performance. 3D sound hardware, yes. We have played this. I have a load. Do a new game. Just see the beginning. We did play this actually on the Voodoo 3, which runs it great. And that's why, again, the Voodoo 3 is such a, almost like ridiculous compatible and usable card. It makes it very, boring in that sense. Johnny, as far as like the crawl chapter, I don't even remember, but I remember just eventually feeling like the game wouldn't end. Unreal felt like it kept dragging on. And I mean, a lot of people probably say like, oh, it's good that it has a long longevity. But I don't know, it felt like it overstayed its welcome towards the end of the game, so... yeah, this game is just so, like, cool cheesy. It leans into it, which is awesome. Let's see what the volume is here now. Ackerman. I think the same reason that, oh, his name Blade Cutter. I can remember Slade. Something ridiculous.
Bank was just taken over. Robbery in progress.
Damn. I'm a cool action
There's an
guy.
undisclosed number of assailants with hostages still inside. They're heavily fortified and deeply entrenched already.
Get the assault chopper ready.
Already done that, boss.
Good work. What's the word from our team in that sector?
It's not good, boss.
The reason to
We've
me
lost
Duke 3D
contact.
was so cool was
Suspect
that it
they've
looked
been
like a
cut
real
off,
environment,
or
right?
worse.
Instead of being space corridors, military bases, And that's what Sin is going for too. Like, yes, slightly futuristic, but it felt cool and, quote-unquote realistic in that sense.
Hey, Chief, are we locked and loaded yet?
Yes, sir. Ready to roll.
Roger that. Hey, Blade, give him hell.
Futuristic helicopter without a rear
Okay, Chief. Let's
stabilizer.
punch it.
Let's punch it. So generic action dude, it's hilarious. And then Hacker Man. The big deal with this one, of course, was the lead antagonist. Alexis, whatever, and it's just so like. Turn down the on this one. A little more. There we go. Shoot everything. That's still a guy alive there. Rest in pieces. More people? I can't even see.
Civilians are not Swiss cheese, so keep the non-hostile body count down.
Approaching bank on Mr. Alpha 9. Hostile horses firing. Nice shooting, sir. Let me out.
Way to get to Mars there, Blade.
Blow everything up. That's really cool. Again, I just thought it looked so cool, you know.
Blade, try for a rooftop landing at the bank. I'll keep an eye on what's going on inside the bank with the security cam.
Sure. Nice. That is set in a kind of a realistic setting goes a long way, so. Okay, can we land now? Come on.
Sir, I'll drop you here and dust off.
I'm gonna go in alone. I couldn't see it. I shot it. Got robbed. I did not know that, Doppler, but that's pretty funny. Like in the mid, you know, the 90s, a lot of these standards came to be, right? So.
This is taking far longer than anything we had planned. If you don't start moving faster, I'll get someone who will.
We're moving as fast as we can, sir.
Yes, ball lightning is real.
Keep moving.
I think I remember someone on my family side in Sweden a long time ago. They did see ball lightning in their house, like a long time ago.
Clear the
But
bank out, boss. We need to end this.
damn. Oh, cool guy. See. It's weird, but it basically is a charged electric bolt that slowly will travel. It sounds ridiculous, but it basically, it's a... You can look it up, but it is a real phenomenon. Oh, hi. Where it's a... Like, the formidable character and everything, too. Yeah, the Orbital 3D positioning audio here is working overtime. It's doing pretty good. Yeah! I just shot a guy while quipping about it. Spontaneous combustion? I'm not so sure on. The only reason ball lighting, I know that, mostly there are actual recorded, events of the ball lightning, and I know for sure that there's at least, you know, hearsay, I suppose, but or at least from my family side, people have saw it years and years ago, probably 100 years ago now. But
Damn, it's Blade. Don't just stand
Blade.
there. Go kill him. JC, you open that thing?
now I have a machine gun. Well, they brought a lot of people to this bank robbery. Damn. Yeah, it's just using stereo channels, right? So, this game, if I remember right, uses audio really well. Like, that's the reason why you guys can hear it so well between the different left and right, so... It's interesting. This is a game I never played that far, honestly. I feel like maybe we should stream this, a dedicated stream sometime. I've only done it in the variety stream. I forgot which is the door open button. Sorry. Play controls. Use is U.
Security door.
Locked. Oh, it's locked. 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 Also, it's got the really funny warbling texture you can see there on the gun. It's just moving around like crazy. So it is that. Yeah, what happened to that? It feels like the type of like positional audio like that is just kind of died out. It hasn't been a feature for a long time. Maybe I'm, you know, misstating that, but... Got some headman up.
We're headed over there now to help them out. Keep going, Blade.
Blade. That's true. We've gotten really good integrated audio, and this has kind of made audio not a primary concern, or at least pretty blasé. Not saying all integrated audio is bad. There's plenty of ones that are good, but... Definitely struggling a little bit here now. Punch the guys. Chick. But Sin is a really interesting game. It's just, there's so many, like, Quake 2 base games. This is Sin. S-I-N.
Wait. I got a wife and kids.
Damn, a security door. Damn, a security door.
Damn, security door. Damn. I don't. X-Ram doesn't ring a bell. Talking about a product or a platform or a game. We have 5.1 set up with our, like, part of our main setup. It ends up being not used that much, I guess. It's just a soundbar and stuff like that, so... Secrets back here. Been everywhere now. Came back here. Killed everyone. Anyone else I can kill? Kinda killed everyone already. That's right. I remember they were unlocking some of that stuff, right? With Atmos.
Damn, a security door.
I gotta go back to the security because I can't unlock it, I think. Run. And here, I mean, it's more than playable, obviously. You know, if you played it this way, then this was the way you had, so... but especially here, this would have been, you know, not necessarily overkill, but it's,
Get out of here.
Already got it. Yeah, I'm just so cool. A little risky. Boy, he really plays by the book here. Yeah. Oh, I can't play? Who shot me? But also, this game, again, I never really played it far. I think I had a, you know... Man. Just like CRTs. You explode, like we all know. Probably had the demo or the real game back then, but I never got very far in it. I never really played it that far. I'm not sure why I lost interest, but... Hey, Blade, you could be a little less, like, happy about, like, mowing down people, maybe? Just, can you dial it back just a little bit? No can do. I'm too cool for that.
Damn, a security door. Damn, a security door.
Can we open the security doors?
Don't let him get through here.
You actually have, like, positional damage to them and everything.
Get out of here. Woohoo! Run to safety.
Thank you, officer.
Boy, he really cares for the safety of these hostages. Just shooting wildly around them and then just, like, run off. Fine. I think there's no more bad guys. Just go.
We need the vault.
Damn.
It's in here somewhere. See if you can find it.
Oh, yeah.
Already got it.
He's so cool. Headshots actually do more damage in this game. It's pretty advanced. Jack Quaid. Even knocked over furniture there.
Get out of here. Woohoo! I'm saved.
Ew, I'm saved.
Damn, a security door.
Can't get in there. No way. Wow, there's even a little echo when he jumps, though. Oh yeah, big time. That's the thing with that, is that, you know, it really was trend setting. Anyway, there we go. Nice. Current vault passcode. 3-3. I think you can actually mess around with the accounts there and find the other people's accounts and who knows what. Everything's open now. We do need to go back this way. These security doors make no sense the way they're laid out, but whatever. Because video games. And I think that goes a long way to make the game feel like, you know, quote-unquote real, is to be able to interact more with it and just not static stuff. At least for me, that's super important, so... Giving you some quips there as I'm murdering people. Pretty crummy security. 2 dials.
We've got to leave now.
Wait a sec. I'm picking up thermal activity in the abandoned building next door.
Oh, I think we got a shotgun.
And check it out.
Yep, you got the pistol on 2, shotgun on 3, assault rifle on 4. As this should be.
I'm going in.
Going in. A loose cannon, because my name is Blade. He's so cool. I could be like Blade. cool sunglasses. I don't know why I didn't play this game that far, but shotgun is effective. Very effective. Goodness. A strong shotgun is super important in games, I think, or at least the feel. It's super dark again. That is true.
Oh shit! Damn, I'm trapped. JC, how do I get out of here?
I don't know, boss.
Hmm.
Christ, I've got to get out of here.
Blade is down. I repeat, Blade is down.
I don't think he's down as much as he's just like scattered out over the countryside there. It does have that feel to it too, like almost like the Turok and that chunky art style, right? Definitely's got that vibe to it. Let's see. Expendable, Unreal, the G Police. Played a racing game. I wonder if Need for Speed 3 is a good choice for this one. Might be more a Need for Speed 2 kind of thing. But yeah, the audio there, it's just funny how, like, you know, a lot of games have Aural 3D support, but the ones that really, like, take advantage of it, like Sin here, feels like it's great for it. But not all games are using it to the full effect. But in this case here, it sounds fantastic. We'll do the standard. I'll do maximum. We're going to fill up that hard drive. We'll see. I don't remember Need for Speed 3 that much. Like, I played Need for Speed 1 a ton. Quite a bit of 2, but not 3. Then I skipped and went to the Road Challenge or High Stakes, depending on the region. I think it's Road Challenge in the US and High Stakes in Europe. And I played that one quite a bit on my P3 500, I think, so not too far off. But all these Need for Speed games kind of blend together a little bit, honestly. Of course, my perennial favorite, too, to play will be Motorhead. That's one game that I just love, and I don't even... What's going on here? I keep putting the CD into computers. I think what's happening is that I'm streaming with the computer, put the CD in to play it, and move the machine back to the shelf or something. Motorhead is a great example of like a super fluid arcade racer that goes really fast, but not much depth to it. It's just, you know, arcade racer. Versus the Need for Speed series at least has some of the car showcase and often basing on real cars and whatnot. So that's when you can unlock drivable dinosaurs and stuff. But it's, you know, I keep coming back to this era of computing because not only am I really, you know, I do love the DOS and the Pentium 1 and stuff like that. But when you get to the 90, I'll register later. When you get to the 97, 98, 99, 2000 kind of stuff, that, my goodness, there were so many good games coming out in that era. The 3D was just really taking off. There were so many cool experiences to have and so many cool games to test. Video cards were coming out constantly and doubling performance on CPUs and video cards, and it was just a great time for gaming. I think it's been hailed or called like kind of one of the first golden ages of Direct 3D. Direct 3D. Okay, so see if it supports it. I was going to say, but probably pretty insightful stuff. EA Sports in the game. Ooh, we get some full motion video treatment here. So there was just so many things coming out all the time, and I think it's been called at least the first like real golden era of PC gaming, because I mean my goodness, you got from like, you know, think about it, like in the 90s, from 1990 to 2000, like the amount of difference in performance and PC, like how much it accelerated, unintended, I guess. Going from like your 386 and that kind of stuff all the way up to Pentium 3 and almost Pentium 4s and like full 3D accelerated graphics in games, and it's just crazy. I don't think we've seen a decade with so much like computer progress. I mean, above all for 3D acceleration and GPUs coming around, so. Yeah, and that's what I remember too, is well, I had the Voodoo 1, and that's the one we have in AST here next to me as well. I played on the Voodoo 1 pretty far into, until I got my TNT, so. Turning it up, the soundboard is a little finicky because I have to change the gain on it. And the only way I can do it is holding a button, switch into gain mode, and then go up on the slider until it hits the level it was at, and then I can turn it up or down. So it's a little bit finicky. If you see me doing that, that's what's going on there. I'm just adjusting the volume. I can't use the slider directly the way I have it currently captured. Oh, there goes the there goes the monetization on this one. Now we're there. A data path. I use a data path E2S, which is an analog PCI Express capture card. The cool thing with the data path is that it lets you really fine tweak the analog capture. So in this case here, we're capturing a 640 by 480, doing that directly. It uses a third-party software to get a window, and I capture that window into OBS. So the graphic settings here. Oh, they can. They sure can. 640 by 480, cool settings here. Loading is pretty substantial there. I always found the menu system in this one being really weird. Where we're driving Countach. Countach. Yeah, it is funny because anything like that gets marked, and it's fine on the stream. I don't really care. It's fair. They can get the money for it. I don't monetize my streams, so because above all, I want to be able to play games that have music as integral to it. Playing a Star Wars game without the John Williams music, it's just kind of flat. For example, so you know that kind of stuff is I prefer that to do. Oh my, that.
3, 2, 1, go!
The Countach is not necessarily a great car, but yeah, it's fine. 4x480. The cars are kind of sliding around. I prefer the. Oh, I can't do the bumper cam. Fine's off-road. But yeah, here this place is just great. I could probably take this 800 or 600, but racing games, you know, prefer to have 60 or higher just to get a very smooth experience. Up drifting my Countach in the snow drifts here. They didn't get really the engine sounds very good, I feel, until later on, like, turn down to the edge. Engine sounds didn't really get good until later. Oops, sorry, I'm trying to reach out too. Evening Pillow Cheesesteak, welcome. We're out driving a Countach in the snow. I don't remember. I thought so. Usually you can just... Whoops, that's a tree. Usually you can go to bumper cam, but I don't know. Boy. Did great there until I wasn't anymore. The immersion. I remember when playing Need for Speed 1 the first time and seeing like the interior dashboard and seeing like the that was a pretty nice slide there. It feels like the menu system in this one, 2 and 3, is awful. Like they didn't, like UI design, what is that kind of thing. What I keep saying, it's difficult to focus and race at the same time, I will add. But, like, it didn't feel like until later in Gran Turismo as you got further along. Like, you know, maybe Gran Turismo 3, or even 4. And then Forza as well, they started getting good with capturing audio, actual engine sound, because these are just sounds really... And the Countach is not a good Countach. It's not a good sports car from what I understand. It wouldn't be able to keep pace like this. But of course, you know, it was cool to see your favorite cars racing. Catching up. Definitely a little arcadey. Everybody was Countach racing. Yeah, I don't think the Countach would keep up, but I mean the game is more than playable like this. Again, you could have got to 800 by 600 as well, but I think I would have enjoyed this game just fine like this. I'm trying to glance at chat, but it's difficult when you're racing.
Final lap.
Final lap. I forgot how much like drum and bass was like so prevalent in this era. Like every racing game used like drum and bass and jungle. I think Polly, I'm not sure if you're still here. I know you were linking to Discord a while back with all this like jungle beats stuff for jungle drum. If I drove another car that wasn't as wedge shaped as a Countach, I would have hit that bridge there. How it was just like dominating a lot of video game soundtracks from this era, just drum and bass, jungle drum, and that kind of stuff, jungle beats. The Countach is just as good in the snow as it is on road. I'm not sure if this one has the same, like, oh, okay, hi. Oh, Countach on Countach action. Yeah, I think that with the Countach, it was like on every, like, kid's wall in the 80s, 90s, right, until the Diablo kind of came out, but it was such an iconic design. But yeah, after having seen, like, reviews and impressions of driving it, it seems just awful. You know, supercar from the 80s made in Italy. Yeah, I think so, right? Tons of them too that will make you run on modern machines and everything. It is between that and the Testarossa, of course, I might say the Testarossa is more a retro wave car, but the Countach is pretty much up there too. Again, it's just that, you know, Miami Vice style. I can sit and check and see if this has positional audio or not, but those are cool and runs really well like this. Whoops. But what is this engine sound? This is supposed to be a V12. It's like a sewing machine. Sort of. They never made a Testarossa convertible. Otherwise, yes, it is a Testarossa. That is the outrun car. Whee! But there was never a convertible made, officially anyway. Otherwise, yes, it is a Testarossa. Probably longer than I usually play these because I just hop in to test them. I think I feel like the Gaming Solar, welcome. The content creators among us hop into these games and just.
Lap, you placed third.
You placed third. All right. If I hadn't crashed multiple times, that would have been good there. Yeah, and that's the thing too. Is like driving a fast car now. Like I drive a Super WRX and it's plenty fast for what I need. You can feel the turbo oomph once in a while, but it's not gonna make you make too stupid decisions versus like driving a supercar or whatever. But yeah, what I'd like to do is a, you know, reasonably fast car. And let's see if we can. This music is great. 355 Spider. How many cars unlocked in the beginning here? Mercedes SL600, yeah. 355. Really like weird unlimited. You have to like mess with so many weird settings here. Heads up display. Goodness. Thanks, Solar. Appreciate it. Cameras. You have to bind the. Oh, there we go. Oh, wow. Bumper cam. There you go. You have to like select the. What? Weird. We'll see if the V8 in this one sounds better. There's not many things that sound better than a, you know, a Ferrari V8 or V12. So it's something fantastic. I will say I'm very soft spot for the Boxer 6 Turbo 6s from Porsche. Porsche, whatever.
3, 2, 1.
There we go.
Go.
I mean, it sounds a little like a Ferrari, but mostly just like sewing stuff going on. Yeah, but they're so high revving and whatever. But I went to like a day out at a quarter mile one time in Sweden. I thought it was in Norway. But a lot of, you know, tuned cars show up and do drag race trips or whatever. And there was 2 tuned late 90s 911 turbos at the time. Man. The amount of turbo noises and whistling and like with the Boxer 6, it sounded just glorious. It was just such a fantastic sound when both of them lit up full speed. They were not stock by a long shot, but they just sounded great. I think we streamed, actually, I'm thinking back now. Need to be 3. We streamed this, I think, with the steering wheel because the Gran Turismo steering wheel I have for my PS2 actually works great in Windows 98. Yeah, I'm pretty sure we did. And we played this game. This is 2 or 3 years ago now. Filled it out with the bass line there, whoever's playing this track. Oh. Got it, I got it. It's down, silence. Is it? Hopefully not. Very loud here, but... Someone else comment there. I want to make sure it's still working, but I see it being captured, so... Okay. I never mind hearing that, because I want to make sure we catch anything that's... I picked the wrong route, apparently. This is how we drive with, you know, our Ferraris. Dude, you just wrecked your Ferrari. It's not my Ferrari. I love The Rock. That movie is so great. Great dumb fun. This is how I drive my Ferrari. This is on long tracks. Anyway, this machine then, I think it's, of course I look at something else while I'm driving. Again, I didn't have a P2 and I kind of wanted one. I think this fits the bill because of course it's a quick P2. Maybe not as, you know, exactly like a mid-range P2, but I don't know. It turned out really nice, and I wanted to make it feel like a premium computer, as it were. And I feel I should have done some witty background, too, but I didn't do that. I just had a black background. But, again, it's easy to overlook the P2 era, because P3s just, again, serve that same purpose, right? You don't really need a P2. It doesn't give you anything more than the P3 can provide. I guess that's probably why it feels like I don't see that many P2 builds, or at least you can use a P2 build more for a kind of a DOS setup too. Oh, sure, yeah. It was fun to do that because it's funny how much I fought with Tex Murphy Overseer too. I mentioned it earlier, but I had a heck of a time with getting the DVD to work on that one because by default, it can use an external like decoder. I didn't have one in this machine, but it also has a software decoder you can use, and I messed with it so long to the point where I was about to abandon it, but like I put a DVD drive in here, I really like to use it. So I ended up installing the reference drives from NVIDIA, and all of a sudden that works, so that's great. And then also, that's how I watched a lot of my DVDs. That Matrix DVD I showed, I watched that very disc on my computer at the time with my slot load Pioneer DVD drive, which I wish I had again. You know, I actually had an S-video cable, yeah, across my apartment floor, just all over the place, strung half across the floor to my TV. I used to, like, drag my keyboard next to my chair, sit in the middle of a room, and kind of have my keyboard at the ready so I can pause and stop and stuff like that. A pain in the butt, but it worked before I could afford to buy a DVD player for my TV. Like playing racing games with the keyboard. But that's also nostalgic for me. You know, I'm trying to remember which one it is. I can look on the desktop here in a second, because that is still, of course, installed. Olaf is dominating the race. Tarquin coming in last. Where is in another time zone? Anyone name what that game, what those voice lines are from?
Congratulations! You're the winner!
Yeah, I will say that too, Revan. I will miss that too. I love turbo noises. And even the Subaru now, and you're just like cruising slowly on like second gear, just whistling all the time, and I don't know, it's something special. Let's see what version of Power DVD this is. I don't have a disc in here, of course, right now, but I think you can see Power DVD XP. Or it says anywhere. Yeah. But this is what I used to watch DVDs on myself, too, because even though it's weird, because I had a DVD decoder card, or MPEG decoder card, a Real Magic card in my P2300, and that's where I started watching stuff like that. And I'm not sure it necessarily used it, because I use Power DVD, and Power DVD, I believe, is just a software decoder. It doesn't rely on hardware. I think it can do probably hardware decoding in here. Nice. Oh, that's glorious. Look at this here. DVDonnet.com. Wow, it has it to save as an HTML, of course, here, but look at this. Xbox to use older DVD scanning tech. HP pumps.dvd RWPC. New PCs, DVDs, buried treasure at Comdex. NVIDIA shows new laptop graphics chip. And all this is going to fail because it's trying to go to the internet, of course, so we don't have that connected. Trek. Oh, well, this is a nice little slice of old stuff. But this is 2001, so it's quite late, yeah. NEC Mitsubishi monitors, your color accuracy. Bill looks forward to a digital decade. Bill, Gates, obviously. Godfather. Sopranos? Is that old? Anywhere, maybe not. The Mummy Returns. Enemy at the Gates, Hannibal. Oh. Yeah, I mean, I've used this. I mean, I had the Matrix running on here and watching through the intro and everything, and that was really, really neat because that's what I did. I remember back in the day thinking I was really cool trying to screen capture certain things from the Matrix. And I actually ordered that one from America, and the import tax was pretty substantial, but I had to have it before it was released in Europe. I just had to have it. It was so cool at the time. But that's how I watched a lot of my DVDs, was around that time. I watched The Negotiator. I still have that one. Probably, I bought the Alien box set. Alien Quadrilogy. I still have that as well. And yeah, watching The Matrix on DVD. And also, one I watched as well was Lost in Space, because it had so much CGI that it looked really cool on the DVD, especially on a computer monitor. But then, yeah, I had my Riva TNT, I'm pretty sure, then had a S-Video out, and that's what I used. I basically output that, and my computer was like half across the room, and I had an S-Video cable just strung right across the room. Then I ran over there, plugged it in, you know, maximized it, put it the output and everything. And yes, Fifth Element, of course, I have that one as well, because back in the day when DVDs were coming out, it was this whole thing of like, you know, what are the coolest and best, like, movies to have on DVD, and the ones you guys have listed here definitely were there. And yeah, had some of the Bond movies as well. My dad actually collected all the Bond movies on DVD, and that, when a re-release came out on DVD from a movie, it was a big deal. And they had a lot of behind the scenes features and stuff like that. Not all of them did, but I was about The Rock early on DVD, a German version, which we joked about before, me saying The Rock. I did not say The Rock, it said The Rock. Played on that one. And then you also have the issue of the region switching, right? Because many of the software lets you bypass that, but you had the different regions, which was just stupid, to try and control the importing of different movies in different regions. So, yep, Starship Troopers, stuff like that. It's a lot of cool movies that way, and I watched a ton of movies that way before I got a DVD player, because I didn't feel I needed a stationary DVD one that I got until later. My dad got one pretty early on because he was enjoying the format. And it was like, you know, picking up DVDs was like, we kept buying the same movies all over. We had a whole bunch of Bond VHS tapes, and then bought the same Bond movies on DVD because it was better, you know. Now, we actually offloaded a big part of our DVD collection because we just never used them. A lot of them, like extra movies that we never watched. Kept a lot of them on still. But now you go to a lot of these secondhand stores or the collectibles or resellers here, at least locally, and there's tons of DVDs. Tons of them. You know, it was a special era. Everyone was collecting. I was buying South Park on DVD. They had 4 episodes per disc. They cost like $20 a pop. Like, it was just a total rip. I kept buying them. I bought like 5 or 6 of them before I realized this is ridiculous. You're not going to get the full season on a single disc, you know. They have 4 episodes per disc, I think. Just on a rip. I assume it was a single layer, single-sided DVD at that point, right? Which was the thing that happened later on too, with multi-layers and stuff like that. So, yeah, it was a fun era, and I think this machine, just to show off again here, is a great way to experience that era as well. I'm really happy with this machine to come out. It's been real rock solid. One issue has been that the CPU fan needs a little lubrication, I think, because sometimes it has to start up. It sounds like a weed whacker as the wheel spins up sometimes, and then it kind of gets going, and then it's fine. So I probably take that apart and lubricate that. But of course, being a slot 1 CPU, it has the fan attached to the side, so there's that problem. But I think I'm going to call it there for tonight. This is a fun machine. I appreciate everyone joining. Thanks so much for the support on the video, because it was a cool video to make, and I really enjoyed it. The next video I'm going to work on is going to be the pickups from VCF Midwest, so that's a little overdue. I have a pile of stuff sitting down here. You can kind of see it in the background there. Maybe zoom in and enhance. I'll just throw it down here. And also, I am going to that big LAN party next week, so that will probably consume my time. I probably won't stream next week, just FYI, because the prep for that LAN party, plus then kids are out of school, so I'm going to go down to Grandma and Grandpa and have fun there with kids. So probably no stream next week. I'll let everyone know if that changes, but I need to prep for that LAN party and also, yeah, kid stuff. So thanks so much for hanging out, everyone. Thanks so much for the generous donation earlier, Garth. Appreciate everyone having a good time. And hopefully you can experience the P2 magic in your own home. Who knows? Anyway. All right. Thanks so much, everyone. Have a good night. And I will see everyone next time or on Discord. Good night. Go watch a DVD.